is this like me? Do you like ding dong? Discussion. I was like, from where are you? And he was like, oh, well, I'm from here. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I'm from Long Island. Anyway, yeah, I live out here now. Anyway, this motherfucker then starts talking to me about bubblers and how people from Wisconsin and Massachusetts call them bubblers. But from where he is, there's this stereotype that didn't exist but now it does, where you put your mouth on a water fountain all the way. Anyway, so then I called you all, and he went to my neighbor. He jumped over that hedge, and then went to my neighbor, and yeah, he started. I think he humped the railing. I'm not sure if he just tripped. This was just about this and Kyle. Yep. Yeah. Truthful, yes. Everything about this pizza is something in fact I feel like I've eaten it in a concentration camp. I can say that. 271,000 people who were in the Holocaust found directly in related to them. But yeah. How? Somehow they'll come out. I know you can take all time, but I don't know. I'll research it. How? Well, the rabbis help. There's only 1,000.
The 1975 season gay baseball
Wow.
and galvanic vote could change much of the nation's attitude toward
Some
baseball.
common ancestry. A lot of people got wiped out.
It seemed that we all
I learned
somehow
enough.
felt like
Back
Rob
on.
was the conclusion of that.
Because you're so fucking annoying.
And it's from that moment that I date a resurgence of interest in baseball.
I like you guys. Well, hearing everything about
All sorts of new records and things.
motherfucker walking around here keep reproducing. And we gotta put an end to that ASAP. And I've been over here like
baseball had a lot to do really with
what the Willie Mays and probably something having in common. And both featured in somebody's baseball. What's other races too?
changed my life, changed a lot of people's lives.
Dude, I was going at this bitch with a fucking torch like a baller.
Frank Robbins, the only man ever to win the most valuable player award in both leagues, became manager of the Cleveland Indians.
Hey,
Though there had been dozens of men like Ruth Foster,
this is so fucking good. Is it like a casserole?
Robbins was the first black manager in the majors.
What is pizza casserole? Isn't that lasagna?
This happened this month. It would be 6 more years before the National League finally signed its first black manager. In 1981, the San Francisco Giants hired Frank Robbins.
Frank Robinson.
So like people feel as though everything they're going to try to do in baseball is replicating Jackie Robinson all over.
Who's this guy?
Black people were
He's
aware
great.
when they
I don't know
had
his name.
baseball
Do you remember anything about him?
this is important. So
Uh-huh.
black people have a certain
Olive? In Prohibition?
attitude in baseball, a certain historical
Is Josh?
memory of management
Is he still on?
that they do not have with other sports.
Where does he teach? Is he still on?
One time black people did run
He teaches at Washington University in St. Louis. Really? Yeah. What's his name? I looked him up. I'll put you we'll get him. He's on there.
Clearly, to the owners, the enemy is not the players. The owners regard merely as ingrates, slanted ingrates. The enemy is more than general opinion. The showdown is within. It's not over a few more $1,000, not the few thousand commanded for some obscure pension inflation. It is over the principle of who will run their baseball business. They, the lords, or this man Miller.
Back in 1973,
He would
Marvin
be.
Miller and the Players Association had maneuvered the owners into
He's gonna
agreeing
Ben Savage
to
gonna
partial
get that.
binding arbitration of
Right?
salary disputes. Now, in 1975, after 10 years of battling with the owners, Miller was ready to take on the reserve clause.
From the beginning, I had felt that the contract which the owners had drawn up with the players simply gave the owners the right to extend it obviously two things. First, we needed a grievance and arbitration procedure under which differences in interpretation would go before somebody impartial and not. Secondly, we needed a test case. Mr. Smith and McNally did that.
In 1975, two first-rate pitchers, Dave McNally of the Montreal Expos and Andy Messersmith of the Los Angeles Dodgers, agreed to play 1 year without contract, declared themselves free agents, then filed for a hearing for a new three-man arbitration panel. Marvin Miller voted for the players. John Garrett, representing Major League Baseball, voted against it.
Safety
The
and
third
stuff.
man was a professional arbitrator named Peter Sykes. He was convinced the players were right and begged the owners to come up with a new and equitable contract. They refused. On December 23rd, 1975, Sykes voted with the players. The owners were too stubborn and stupid, he said. They were like the French barons of the 12th century. They had accumulated so much power, they wouldn't share it with anybody. The owners, claiming this would bankrupt baseball, fired Sykes the next day and went to court to have the decision overturned. This time, they failed. The arbitration was binding. The reserve clause was dead.
When the arbitrator finally agreed with the union that an owner could only control the player for 1 year, the time had come to negotiate a whole new system, and the owners panicked. They could not picture living under a system in which every player would be a free agent every year.
Miller shrewdly offered the owners what seemed on the surface a compromise. Players would not be eligible for free agency until they had played 6 years. The owners gratefully agreed. At least they could still control their most valuable assets for a time. But baseball would never be the same again. The law of supply and demand now favored the players.
After the Sykes decision, after the reserve clause was dead, the ball players were thus free to do whatever they wished to sign with any club they wanted. But Marvin Miller, running the players union, was much smarter than that. He knew that if you had all the players available, that there was enough supply to meet demand. Whereas if you controlled the supply, where there's a trickle of free agents every year, they would do much better.
And even though the arbitrator's decision gave the players the right to be free agents every year,
What the fuck happened
we
there?
felt that it was in the interest of the game and the players that supply of free agents not be so great every year, that be an eligibility requirement.
Baseball series is the result of two things coming to baseball rather late. Two very American things. Freedom and prosperity. Freedom. Baseball players are virtually the last American that got the right to negotiate with their employers for their salaries by breaking up the reserve clause in arbitration and free agency. Wealth. Baseball is enormously popular. 56 million people pay to get into the ballparks every year. Not one of them buys a ticket to see an owner. I have remained semi-Marxist in this field. I believe very value the players.
I have my dog. Can you look at that? That's fine, but I just sit the cold in and stay up in the box. Right? Well, that's not a game you can stay in, can you? I've seen the Yankees play, but no Yankee Stadium. I have seen the Yankee Stadium. Full Yankee Stadium. Right? I have seen it. Yep, it was right across the Hudson River. I looked up at it. Yeah? Yep.
It was the Emancipation Proclamation of baseball. Reserve clause was overturned. This allowed the owners
People
to
mess up
sign
with it. Oh, okay, well, that's
one-year contracts to ballparks
second
by
hand.
keeping the organization for eternity. So basically, it allowed us to go from plantation to plantation based on the highest paid plantation owner. And owners got very upset about that because they inflated salaries, ticket prices went up, television went up, and they found out they were making more money, and they found out
Yo, dog, my friend, his name?
now we have $150 million.
Yosh.
So
Did you
they
know?
made money, players made money, got hurt, the American public, fans, the integrity of baseball.
Reporting, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Morey. This is Coast to Coast Radio. This is what's happening. Microsoft Corporation said it will eliminate
In 1973, a shipbuilder from Cleveland named George M. Steinbrenner III bought the once mighty New York Yankees from CBS, and then could not keep his hands off them. He was the first owner to embrace free agents, studying the baseball world by paying big money for big players like catfish hunting. By 1976, he had bought himself a pennant winner.
$34 billion takeover of Twitter last October has been mired in controversy after the second year. Stock prices disgusting.
His club was led by a former Yankee second baseman, best receiver, Truman's on and off the field, Casey Stengel's protege, Billy Martin. Billy Martin, what a powerful strategic tool apparently is. He believed that everyone was against him, and so he spent every waking moment figuring out how imaginary enemies could be defeated through various plots. And sometimes he not only created strategies to defend against things that would never be done against him, but realized that those attacks were themselves novel, and he would then try those attacks that he had already dreamed of defensively. That's why he was so wonderful at suicide bombing. He made sure the world hated him. And so he turned really raw, frightening one of the strategic approaches. The Yankees lost the 1976 series to Cincinnati, but won the championship from Los Angeles the next year, powered by a quartet of sluggers. Chris Chambliss, Greg Lemons, Thurman Munson, and the flamboyant former Oakland star cheerfully called himself Paul the Stern Story.
Mr. October. Yo.
Reggie Jackson's late season performance of Mr. October that's really deserved.
Oh, yeah. You're shitting me. Oh, you're shitting me. You're shitting me. You're shitting me, Yosh. Oh, bitch. You're shitting me, Yosh. That motherfucker went down. Really?
1977 World Series. He hit 3 home runs on 3 consecutive swings of his bat off 3 different pitchers.
My friend,
Brass self-promoted
his name was Yosh, but he's not Yosh.
I'll pray every day. I try to talk to God through Jesus Christ every day, and I will pray during the night, pray during the national anthem, which is my period of meditation for praying. And not really, stick around the game, you listen to an old video like me, I'll show you how to talk on an apple. You know, TV, random TV cameras and going on and shit like that. Huh? I'm telling you, man, I'll show you how to make a living with this stuff. I'll show you how to have people eat right out of here. 2 on the red side lead at 2-0 in the 7th inning.
1978, Steinbrenner's Yankees gave 14 games behind. And beat the Red Sox in a dramatic Boston fans negotiating 1-game playoff.
I know. His name was. No. I know. He is your. But he's not Yosh. He is my Yosh. I know. She's I know. You're broken or whatever. You're never broken. Whatever.
Baseball history, but not win the World Series. Steinbrenner did something no one thought
Not
possible.
bringing it in his meetings.
They have the terrific farm system, the largest market
Okay.
flow. You would think finance excellence, even if you weren't real smart. He took all those advantages and wrecked franchise. He viewed it with his best players, was quick to cast them off when they didn't perform to his expectations, and interfered constantly with his managers. During his first 17 years as chief executive, he replaced his managers 17 times. Billy Martin alone was hired and fired 5 different times. George Steinbrenner became the most hated man in baseball since Walter O'Malley moved the Dodgers to Los Angeles.
Up next, Dr. Stephen Greer joins us. Looking at his latest documentary. We'll tell you all about it next on Coast to Coast.
This is like it.
Pittsburgh Pirates were a perennial National League power. They had been the first club in Major League history to field an all-black and Hispanic team. They saw their team as a tight, close-knit family. Pirates refused to surrender. Their leader was the 38-year-old veteran Willie Stargell, a devastating power hitter and the league's most valuable player.
I'm the sexiest person
He did
ever.
all he could to fill the void left by the death of Roberto Clemente. His teammates called him Pops.
And the center of it all was Willie Stargell. And they all said that Pops keeps us together. Pops makes it all work. Willie Stargell really was a good leader. I remember the 1971 World Series where those two teams, same two teams, had played 7 games. And Stargell was a great player that year. And the leader had led the league in runs batted in and did almost nothing in the World Series. He popped up, struck out, same in the playoffs. And he never complained. He never said anything. He walked back. He never threw his bat down. And I went up to him after the series near the end and I said, "How can you do this? You must be dying." And his little son, Wilbur Stargell Jr., was playing in the locker room. And Willie made a gesture toward him. He said, "The time comes when a man really has to be a man." It just came out of him like that. And that's the kind of man he was.
Stargell did not disappoint, hitting an even 400, setting a series record with 7 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. Last one, the 7th game, put the Pirates up. For the 4th time in series history, the team had come from so far behind. I think in the end, the thing that appealed to me most was the fact that it rewarded merit, that there is a justice to the game, that if you score, it goes up on the board, and if I score more than you lose and cooperate with one another and did the right thing, we won. That's what baseball is.
Baseball will return in a few moments. This is PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service.
2-order baseball for $24.95 an inning, or $179.95 for the entire set. Call 1-800-451-4727.
You used to be able to just buy it.
Now, here's a look at another member-supported program coming soon to WVIZ.
Once they see majestic, once they see royalty. Now, their lives seem like a soap opera. Trace the lives, loves, and secrets of England's royal family. Discover the steadfastness of the First Windsor in the present-day trials of Charles and Diana. It's a rare film of royalty. The Windsors.
The Windsors, premiering November 7th at 9 here on WVIZ.
If you're enjoying baseball and would like to receive this commemorative Royal Baseball cap, call 886-9125 with a $90 pledge WVIZ, where you pick the difference. WVIZ's podcast of baseball is made possible by the Fussy and the Fussy Cleaners, with 24 locations in Northeast Ohio. The Fussy Cleaners, where dry cleaning, laundry service, and alteration for all 100% satisfaction guarantee and grandmother approved.
Now return to baseball.
Baseball is provided by General Motors. On behalf of the men and women of GM, we are proud to bring you this celebration of the American experience and television entertainment at its finest. Major provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, which supports scholarship, research, education, and social programs. The Pew Charitable Trusts, the Otto Ryan Davis Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting provide annual financial support for viewers like you.
What made baseball so special for me as a young child and what I wanted to give to my children was part of your family, and you knew their strengths and you knew their weaknesses. You even knew how they stood at the plate. I mean, I used to know how Carly Fisk was going to go through all these crazy maneuvers before he hit the ball, and I used to know the spot on the left field wall that he would always hit, or I knew the way Burleson would get a double. And when the free agency came along, and not only that, but the quest for money, the greed, the desire to go where the highest amount of money is rather than the place that loves you, and teams not valuing loyalty either, that continuity is gone.
In 1980, Carlton Fisk, unable to come to terms with the Boston Red Sox, left the team he had followed all his life and signed with the Chicago White Sox. Pete Rose, Cincinnati's hometown hero, became $1 billion free agent, left the Reds, and then helped drive the Philadelphia Phillies to their first World Championship. That same year, Nolan Ryan, who had struck out more batters in a single season than anyone in baseball history, became a free agent. And returned home to the state of Texas, first with the Astros, and then with the Rangers, where he continued to throw no-hitters and strike men out.
There was a period when ball players were heroes maybe for 100 years, and then there was a period when there was a lot of period where we don't look up to the ball player, we're down at
Levels it out a couple of times. Shallow kicks that he fires. Rose swings.
On September 11, 1985, 44-year-old Pete Rose, now back with Cincinnati and managing as well as playing, got stale for nothing. The Republic tired of reading about the business of baseball. Pete Rose's triumph came not a moment too soon. But that no team was immune. Dwight Gooden, Steve Howe, Esquel Perez, Ron LaFleur, Lamar Hoyt, Vida Blue, Keith Hernandez, Dale Merrill, Tim Raines of the Montreal Expos used to slide head first because he didn't want to break the cocaine vials he kept in his pants pockets. Nissan scholar and rabid Red Sox fan run the National League. Shimani liked to say that baseball was
I fortunately have the objective perspective of a Yankee fan, and therefore I've come to understand Boston's pain in a way, but it's different. There are kinds of pain. There's Chicago Cubs pain, which is never getting there at all. Boston Red Sox pain is very special. Boston Red Sox pain means getting to the very last inch again and again and again, then missing it by that little hair. It's 1946 when Slaughter scores from first on a single. It's 1948 when there should have been a Subway Series here in Boston, but they lost a one-game playoff to Cleveland. It's the year of the impossible dream, 1967, when they get in. First of all, they have to dig up a lot of paper. They have to transport it back to Fenway, and they have to publicly apologize for sending them to New York. It's a happy pig farmer in Sudbury. They send him to New York, and he becomes an alcoholic who dies at a very premature age. And he was the great home run hitter. He was the great consummate pitcher and hitter in Boston. And it just keeps going and going and going. It all goes back to Babe.
We'll come back and talk more about the latest sports and also take phone calls.
In 1986, the Red Sox were in the World Series again, facing the New York Mets. It was the first time a team from Boston had played a team from New York in the series since 1912, when Fred Snodgrass's fielding error gives the championship to the Red Sox. The Red Sox took the first two games in New York, lost the next two in Boston, then won the fifth. They needed just one more win to clinch their first world championship since Game 6 at Shea Stadium. The two teams fought through the night, and the score tied 3-3. NBC had the World Series in 1986. It was my job to be at the Red Sox clubhouse after the sixth game. I went down at the end of the eighth inning. The score was tied, but I knew I had to be there quickly in case the game should suddenly end. So I watched the last couple of innings from the corner of the Red Sox dugout.
Microsoft is announced to pointing out Facebook to 10,000 workers.
Swinging along with another field. That ball might leave the park. It's all good. Boston leads. I watched Dave Henderson hit his home run, and the Red Sox tacked on another run at the top of the 10th. The score 5-3. I went back into the clubhouse. They had put the cellophane over each of the lockers in anticipation of the champagne spray. They had built a little podium from which to do the post-game interviews. The cameras and the cable and the microphones were all in place. The World Championship trophy was on a Celeste Yawkey had been let in there, and she was standing next to the trophy, along with Commissioner Huber. And they were watching with me on a little monitor as the Mets came up to bat on the bottom of the 10th. Boston reliever Calvin Giraldi needed just 3 outs to win the game. Veteran first baseman Bill Buckner, hobbled by leg injuries all year, was often replaced in late innings with a younger player. This time, manager John McNamara kept him out. I remember I was standing there thinking to myself, this is going to be the first ever interview in the wake of a Red Sox championship. There was no radio in 1918. There was no television, obviously. This is the first recorded moment after the Red Sox have won a world championship. So I'm thinking, how should that be summed up? What do you say to Mrs. Yawkey? What do you say to McNamara? What do you say to Boggs and Rice and Seaver and whoever else? And Roger Clemens hoping for that last out. Line into left field, base hit by Roger. And it's going to be hitting the center field. He's hit. Here comes the ball to the score. And the tying run is at third. It's Kevin Mitchell. And the Mets refuse to go quietly. 2 out goes to the mound. 5-4 Red Sox. They want Bob Stanley to pitch to Mookie Wilson. Roy said to the people in the truck, if I can hear my earpiece, what happens if they tie the game? And they said, you get the hell out of there as fast as you possibly can. And Jim out some more. 2 out of the 10th, 5 more Red Sox. Ray Knight at first, Kevin Mitchell at third. 2-2 to Mookie Wilson. And it's going on the backstop. Here comes Mitchell to score the tying run. Winning run is at second base. With 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. That runs Lyon and Mets win it. Surreal. This whole selfie comes off. They start backing. The camera's out. I take the earpiece out of my ear, and I'm watching over my shoulder as Wilson hits the ground ball through Buckner's legs. You have never seen so much equipment and so many people disappear from one place so fast. Before the Red Sox would come out of the visitors' dugout and down the tunnel and into the room, long traces of the preparation for a championship. If one picture is worth 1,000 words, you have seen about 1,000,000 words. But more than that, you have seen an absolutely bizarre finish to Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. The Mets are not only alive, they are well, and they will play the Red Sox in Game 7 tomorrow.
We're not going to stop Saturday, May 27th.
2 days later, the Mets won the championship 8-5.
Recap Dr. Sky Stevens, UFO FFT Travis Walton, and from Animal Planet.
I wouldn't even watch the 7th game. I knew it was over. It didn't even matter to me. Even if they'd won, somehow they had lost in '86. And my kids, however, who were then 7 and 8 years old, called in to me only when the Red Sox were winning. Then, of course, by the 6th inning, when the Mets caught up, they were tied and losing, and so I didn't hear any more of it until the end. When they came in to tell me that the Red Sox had lost, I surprisingly started crying. I didn't expect to because I thought I was preventing myself from caring about it. And these little kids said to me, Mom, it's all right. They'll win next year. And I remember thinking, oh my God, these kids don't know yet. They haven't won since 1918, and I can't tell them that. And I had this terrible feeling of wisdom that I did not want to impart to the kids.
Frank is pinched about me, Thompson. We all lose in our lives. We are fortunate enough not to have to lose in front of national television audiences. And rather than there's a moment when the guy's a goat, but inevitably within a few years there's a rehabilitation. And you feel sorry for Bill Buckner right now, people in Boston. That's nice and forgiving.
Supporting the body's ability to protect those cells that it needs. And that is the purpose of any steps and adaptation.
By 1987, only 3 blacks had ever managed big league teams, and only 1 African American had ever held a top-level front office job.
Starting to function
Of the 568 full-time scouts employed by the major leagues, only 15 were black, and 4 teams in California, the Giants, Athletics, Angels, and Dodgers, accounted for 2/3 of all minority hires. In April, the 40th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's major league debut, Al Campanis, Robinson's old teammate, appeared on ABC's Nightline to mark the occasion.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ben Koppel.
Just tell me, why do you think it is? Is there still that much prejudice in baseball today?
No, I don't believe it's prejudice. I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be, let's say, a field manager or perhaps a general manager.
You really believe that?
Well, I don't say that they're all of them, but they certainly are short. How many quarterbacks do you have? How many pitchers do you have that are black? It's safe
But I mean, I gotta tell you, that sounds like the same kind of garbage we were hearing 40 years ago about players when they were saying, not really cut up. You remember the days, you hit a black football player in the knees, and that really sounds like garbage.
I've never said that the blacks are not intelligent. I think the desire to be in the front office, very God gifted, and they're very wonderful people. That's all I can tell you about.
Al Campanis to me said what we knew all along, but nobody wanted to admit that there were people like himself, and he was the director of player personnel for the Dodgers, who acted on the assumption, on the premise that blacks didn't have, as he said, the necessities to manage or to work in the front office with any high degree of credibility. And the debate for me, as a longtime baseball fan, was that it came from the Dodgers. But my team, all my life, since I was 5, 6 years old, certainly the Dodgers wouldn't say that, or feel that way, or act that way.
Campanis was fired within 24 hours. Commissioner Peter Ueberroth hired Harry Edwards, a black sociologist and former athlete, as his assistant for minority affairs. Promptly hired Campanis back. We are going to have to deal with the Campanises in baseball, Edwards explained, and it's good that I have a person in-house who knows how they think. He left his post as president of the National League to become commissioner of baseball. He was replaced by sportscaster and former first baseman Bill White. Some teams did hire more African Americans, but baseball, which had once been ahead of the nation on civil rights, had fallen behind again.
During the period of collusion, there were people who disbelieved it, even though it was as obvious as the nose on anyone's face. And I've had people in that period that say to me, and right, that owners can't agree on anything. How could they have collusion? Everybody forgot that prior to 1947, all of the owners colluded, no matter whether they were Satchel Paige or what have you, superstars in their own right. The only way they could keep them out was a collusive conspiracy.
5. Carlton Fisk, still one of the premier catchers in the game, became a free agent. He strangely received only one offer and eventually re-signed with Chicago. In 1987, Andre Dawson, the Montreal Expos star slugger, tried free agency too. No one received no offers and was forced to re-sign with the Tigers.
The owners got together in 1985 and decided to form a conspiracy under which they would break the free agent market by agreeing that no team would ever make an offer to a free agent. It was in violation of their contractual commitments.
All 26 owners, general managers, club officials, 3 league presidents, several commissioners, all had to be involved and were involved in violating their contractual commitment. And it worked. Over a period of 3 years, 1985, 6, and 7, and possibly into 1988, they managed to have a airtight conspiracy.
The union took the case to arbitrators, and after thousands of hours of testimony, major league owners had to pay the players $280 million in lost wages.
Most people have not fully understood what that collusive effort meant. That it was an agreement not to improve your team. It was an agreement that no matter how important these free agents are, superstars, available to improve your team, to fill in holes on a team that could otherwise be a pennant contender, no matter how good he is. And I think that in terms of scandalous proportions, that collusive conspiracy really was far worse than what is generally considered to be the worst scandal, the Black Sox scandal, for 3 consecutive, possibly 4
In the 1988 World Series, the Los Angeles Dodgers were the decided underdogs against a resurgent Oakland Athletics. The Dodgers' best hitter, the man who had carried them all season, Kirk Gibson, was injured and not expected to play. Their ace reliever Dennis Eckersley on the Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda called to the clubhouse to see if Gibson could possibly pinch hit.
I'm in the corner of the Dodger dugout anticipating that I'll be doing a losing interview. I'm standing just in front of the runway, and I can clubhouse to check on Gibson. Then I can hear Gibson taking practice swings with the ball being placed by a bat boy on the tee, and Gibson hitting into a net, and I can hear the grunts of pain coming from Gibson with every swing. Thwack, thwack. Really got the stuff of legend. And Hines comes walking back, and like in a B movie, he passes Lasorda and says he thinks he's got
Complaining about the fact that with the left knee bothering him, he can't push off. Well, now he can't push off, he can't land. So the Dodgers have to catch lightning right And he's still on an outside corner. He's not going to give a ball to pull. With Davis, he just missed, but here's 2 quick strikes, both fastballs. He could have tail away the outside part. Has he? He's not even flirting with the inside part of that play. Sacks waiting on deck. The game right now is at the
feeling not just of exhilaration, but of utter surprise that engulfed that dugout when we made contact. The looks players exchange, and then the spontaneous outpouring of emotion and this release of tension as he made his way around the bases. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in baseball.
And now the only question was, could he make it around the base paths unassisted? It was Gibson's only at-bat inspired Dodgers went on to beat the Stub Days in 5 games.
And the sky is the limit for baseball salaries. The highest paid player of the week is now Roger Clemens of Boston. 5 years, $7.5 million.
Dwight Gooden has something to celebrate as well after receiving plenty of money from the New York Mets. In fact, the right-hander became the highest paid player in the big leagues after he signed a 3-year, $6.7 million contract.
Brian Sandberg is calling Chicago the city with big pockets. The Cubs' great second baseman has signed the...
In 1869, Harry Wright, manager and outfielder for the Cincinnati Red Stockings, made 7 times the average working man's wage. In 1976, 107 years later, a ball player still made just 8 times a working man's salary. By 1994, the average major league salary would be nearly 50 times that of ordinary Americans.
The big difference now that players get so much is that it's distance them from us. It was a blue-collar sport, and people in the stands could look at these people playing ball and think of them as workers. They're getting the sense of we between fans and players was very strong in those days. The players stayed on a lot longer with the team, so they were familiars. Some of them is quite
I
different.
just wondered about that when we have visionaries and UFOs. I don't know if there is a difference in understanding UFOs.
6,000. Lou Gehrig's rookie, 3,000. 75,000.
That is where
They sound like they're going faster. There goes $5,200, $5,200. Burning goes out the highway. Kids today, they go, how much is your baseball card worth? A plug nickel, son. A plug nickel. Son of be your own person. Do not collect baseball cards. You'll be the ruination of it. Maybe you'll learn economics a little bit or you'll learn value. I do not believe in kids. I teach them right off the bat. Learn with both hands. Be as smooth as silk. Make the nice throw the second. Have the nice breaking curve. Subtract from the change. See the ball and hit it. Don't associate with the other things in the game. Eventually bring you down, get you up and spit you up.
We have these unreasonable expectations of baseball heroes. We want them to be good at life as well as good at baseball. I'm convinced there is the same division in baseball that there is in life itself of true heroes, of people as orphans, of ordinary everyday people, of rogues, of weaklings, people who turn out to be extremely violent.
this motherfucker walked up on my porch and walked up the steps, rang my fucking doorbell. I opened my door. He puts his hand on my screen door, whips it open, and says, I was like, are you fucking serious, kid?
He seemed to be a throwback to some mythical
Anyway.
age of hidden
This one guy. This is what's
players wanted to Some years he lost
Anyway, are you done?
$500,000, and some witnesses testified.
I like how your bed goes like this. Like a matches. Really? Oh, for sure. I've never seen too many of them in the corner with them there. They're just the player.
He was an active womanizer, and he was absolutely a compulsive perfectionist about work. And all those things got him in trouble. In that sense, he's a tragic character. He's a lot of good parts to it. 1 or 2 or 3
Water so clean you can see through the bottom.
In August of 1989, after a long investigation, Commissioner of Baseball Mark Giamatti held a press conference. Banishment for life for
Ain't no
Negroes in
surprise.
baseball is the saddest
This
but
is
sorry
not
episode.
so.
One of the game's greatest players is engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game, and he must now live with the consequences. I know of no earthly institution that does, but this one, because it is so much a part of our history as a people, is an obligation to the people for whom it's played, fans and the well-wishers and the millions, to strive for excellence in all things and to promote the highest ideals of the national game as well as in other of our national institutions.
How did you get that? I don't remember them being like, yeah, we're gonna have a big fucking auction. Whatever you want. No, I was like, oh yeah, dude, yeah, sorry, that's taken. Oh yeah, that's taken. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can do edildos.com, but dildos, somebody's got that bitch. Literally, I'm telling you, if you get me X.com, I'm making that just straight porn all day, every day. And
And then we all went out to the World Series in San Francisco. Well, the earthquake hit, seemed to set off the whole thing.
and then he bought it back.
The worst baseball game of my career.
We would like you to leave in an orderly way. I don't think there's any great danger, but we have no idea when the power is going to be on, and we have to get people out of here before it gets dark.
What's B.com? Oh, Doug, you didn't know? That's not a thing. B.com? Why isn't it like... Why does he get X.com? Why did he get... That was fucking set up. I'm telling you what, that's fucking set up. There was not like a thing. I would have been like, Mom, this is a big fucking deal. Get the letter J or whatever. Just get one of them. God damn it. Please get the letter S. I swear to God, just get Z. Get any of them. Get the number 2. If the number 2 is up there, get it. And get the number 1. Jesus fucking Christ, dog. No, no. I just like doing a thing. Like a dog. That was a really, really cool thing. And then my friend was like, oh, dog. Hey, that doesn't even show up as anything. It's not secure. How did he get? That's not even a thing. Nobody can get those things. What the fuck is Z.com? Japan's number 1 immigrant group. How the fuck did people... Oh, yeah, man, you haven't been to W.com? Oh, yeah, we don't use that. It's like, oh, dude, we're I.com. Hey, assholes, we're I.com. I don't know, like the moon or something? It's gotta be fucking crazy. This is a setup. I'm like, X.com isn't even a real thing. Nobody looked back and saw how Elon Musk made his money, and it was like, yeah, he had X.com. It's like, wait a second, that's not a thing. No one's ever used that. I swear to God. I've been on the internet since it's been a thing, and X.com was never a thing. Oh, yeah, it was an online banking thing. No, it wasn't. Not like anything that anyone used. No, not enough to make like PayPal. No, I refuse to believe that. That's a bullshit thing. I just refuse to believe that people ever used X.com. Anyone ever heard of it? It was ever like advertised. It was never advertised. I never saw X.com. I saw a lot of shit. Pets.com was a thing. That motherfucker shut down. But like this? Oh yeah, X.com. Yeah, I swear to God, it's like they were like, oh yeah, we're $.com. Oh cool, you're $.com, and nobody went to their website, and then it just had this huge inflated value, and then it was like, somebody went to the website one day and was like, dude, this isn't even a fucking website. Literally, what I'm telling people right now is like, well, this motherfucker owned an emerald mine. But he had this like company that I'm telling you, you can't even have those kinds of websites. Z.com. How is that not the biggest fucking website ever? Ever. Ever. Oh, dude. There are only 26 of these fucking websites that you can have. Oh, okay. I didn't even think you could do that. I thought you couldn't have single pages. But apparently you can. But that's some bullshit. Why? Well, I want one of them. Give me fucking M. Who's got M.com? Oh, you wanted M.com. Oh, I'm sorry. No one thought of that one. No people thought of 3M and like 2M, MM. I'm sure M&M. How does an M&M? Oh yeah, business at M&M's. Is it M&M's.com? Or is it Mars? I don't know, dog. Hey, dog. Hey, dude. I bet a bunch of companies would just start their company calling like whatever it is, call it whatever it is, come. So it'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Technicron. No, not Cron. That's the Technicom or whatever. Why? Because it's like, oh, our website is like technic.com or something. It's just.
Escalating salaries. Gambling are going to be the end of baseball. I love it because I've been hearing this or reading about this for 130 years.
I don't think it's you can't do too much because we've done a whole lot of things to hurt it. But it's a tight thing. You just I don't care how you can't kill it. You just can't kill baseball because when you get ready to kill baseball, something gonna come up, somebody gonna come up to snatch you. After the play clock scandal, here comes Ruth. I heard Ruth hit the ball. I never heard that sound before. And I was outside the bench, but it was a sound of the bat that I had never heard before in my life. That was Ruth hitting the ball. And the next time I heard that sound, I'm in Washington, D.C. I wished I Josh Gibson hitting the ball. And I heard this sound again. Now, I didn't hear it anymore. I'm in Kansas City. And I heard this sound 4 times that I hadn't heard only twice in my life. Now, Michael Jackson was doing that, and I heard this sound. It was a thrill for me. I said, here it is again. I heard it again. I was 40 times in my life, but now I'm living.
It is played everywhere. In parks, playgrounds, and front yards. In back alleys and farmers' fields. By small children and old families. Raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed. The only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the season, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime, ending with the hard facts of autumn. It is a haunted game in which every player is measured against the ghosts all who have gone before.
Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major
Most of
carriers
all,
to over
it is about
99%
time
of the
and
nation.
timelessness.
This is all backed by their 100%
Speed
risk-free
and
guarantee.
grace.
You and millions of others will switch. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25. That's consumercellular.com/radio25. Promo code radio25.
Oh, Yoshi. You want to keep watching it, or is it good? Dude, this person, they want to be my friend.
It brings us back to where we're safe, where we care, where we're cared about, where we're loved. Coming home over baseball time was pretty darn dramatic. You feel immense relief to have gotten out of all those hazards out there. Between first and third, it's hazardous territory. And then third home is joy. Out of trouble, you're coming back and you're running toward their home team dugout. You can see them.
Are you interested in ViralRabbi?
To see that their arms are out.
Yo, dog. I am gonna fuck up your time. I'm gonna fuck up your time. I'm never broken. In the end,
She passed on her sense of
my friends are
It is a family heirloom. It's America's family heirloom because it comes back so far. But the thing that's most important about that is that we respect the people of other generations of baseball, perhaps more than we respect other generations and other fields in this country. We call it disposable society. We don't dispose of Babe Ruth. We don't dispose of Warren Johnson. We treat them as though they are equals and contemporaries.
like Rabbi Ralstra. Just a big fucking sex machine.
Yeah, officer. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, no, I'm the one who called. Yeah. So this, he says he's a rabbi. Anyway, some on the internet, he walks up my porch. He skips up the steps here, starts pounding on my screen door. I say, "What in the hell is going? Do you know what time it is?" He starts going like a little chihuahua or something. He then farts, but he just says he queefs or sex appeal or something. And he skips down the stairs, hops the fucking hedge, goes right up to my neighbor, does the exact same thing. He did that for the next 3 houses. And I don't know, he's got to be around the corner by now. Anyway, isn't that breaking some kind of law? Your side, wait, let me get this straight. You rang your doorbell, went like a little dog. Went to your neighbor. All right, anyway. Now there's not too much we can do about it. Why? It's like a religious thing or something. He keeps saying he's going to punch his women's boxes. Did he talk about that? Somebody like, huh? I don't remember that. Huh? He just barked. What's this about box punching? Hey. Why isn't anyone doing anything with these really good ones?
There's something in the world that I can count on. And it's never going to let me down.
I don't feel like those were real. Those were really offered. X.com wasn't really offered. He just was given that or something. I don't know. I don't fucking know how he got that. But no one knows. Trust me. No one knows how he got X.com. It's like, hey, dog, were you like around the internet protocol just like checking their trash can and they had like all these amazing domains there and you're like, oh, dude, what the fuck is this? This is pretty easy. I'll just take this one. No, I don't need anything else. No, I just got this. Look, that's it. And you just walked off with that. How the fuck did I want something like that? I'm not fucking this morning.
I look at them and their excited faces and the fact that they love baseball just like I do. And remember the days when I was at Evans Field with my own father, who died before they even had a chance ever to know him. And he was the most wonderful character, Michael Francis Aloysius Kearns, with his optimistic view of life. And I know that they know him together.
Hey, Aloysius.
If there is a
How'd you get
baseball,
X.com?
I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm telling you, kids, I was there. I've seen the beginning. And it was like, it wasn't like a bunch of people were like, oh yeah, where did you get that shirt? Oh, D, like Dinah Karen, DKNY, or DD's fashion? No, it's just D. Yeah, you never just typed one letter in and just were, oh, I wonder if this is gonna be. Oh no, really? Yeah. Oh man, I like that perfume. Oh, I got it on O.com. Really? Yeah. Why was it like, why can't I get that one? Oh no, I'm sorry, you can't get that one. X.com though, yeah, and Z, X and Z. But everybody else, the guy is sitting on A.com. It's just like, who the fuck has A.com? Oh. I don't feel like you should be able to have one letter. It's just too easy. Really? I feel like it should be at least two. I literally, I think it should be 10. Mikey, that was one of the best songs I've ever heard. Or what were you saying? That? I was like, my friend. Are you gonna close this one, you dumb cunt? Hey, prohibitioner. Hoopla. Hey, dog. Brooklyn Bridge. That's a band, dog. That's a band. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. Hey, quick and easy. Prohibition. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. I bet it's gonna play because it's tight. Because it's made by tight fucking people. Hey, dog. What are you doing? My friend, the big. Oh, dog. Oh, dude, you want to watch a thing? Oh, Billy Billy's got it. Really? For Yosh? Yosh would be like, oh, dog. I don't know. I masturbate. Right? Oh, there it is. Bottom of the 10th, dog. Yo, dog. My friend. His name? Oh, Christ. My friend, his name was I am never broken. My friend. What in the fuck? Yosh. Yoshi. Finish up the dick, dog. Yoshi. It moved, dog. Hold on. Yo, dog. There you go. My friend, his name was Yosh, but he's not yours. He is my Yosh, but he's not yours. He is my Yosh. I am barely broke. Who's the greatest baseball player of all time? Satchel Paige,
Raising your children.
and Greenberg.
If you raise them well and they love you and you love them back, at the end of the day, you know that when you leave this life, your children won't be thinking about, oh, what a great column you wrote in October of 1972. They'll be thinking about.
Remember this? My friend was like, I remember this one. Really? Oh, dog. My friend. Yeah, dog. You remember him?
essentially watching the same game that somebody saw in 1860. The history of it, it is the only sport that goes forwards and backwards. Other sports have some interest in their own history and will occasionally make reference to it. But baseball, it's there. You come in at the start of the game or the start of the season or the start of your own fandom, you feel as if you are joining the river midstream. You can enjoy as much as if you were there. It's as simple as that.
What am I actually talking about? Fucking Jack fucking about. Joe Buck and Jack Buck. Fuck. They ever played? Did Jack Buck ever play baseball? Did Joe Buck ever play baseball? Yes. What was your favorite part of the Joe Buck? Joe Buck's life? Is he gonna die? Yeah, someday. Joseph Francis Clark. He's from Florida. He's graduated from Florida. Joe fucking Buck. Really? How about Smoltz? John Smoltz. John fucking Smoltz.
As the tumultuous 20th century drew to a close,
Greatest
and a
trio,
new millennium
trio
began,
about
remained remarkably
and
unchanged.
let's see a picture of it.
3 strikes still made it up.
Big unit right there.
6 outs.
Randy
and
Johnson.
the distance from home plate to first base was still a perfect 90 feet. Ball players, managers, and even fans continued to cling to their cherished superstitions, hoping against hope to intervene in outcomes actually determined by talent and preparation, accident and error. Superstars continue to retire as heroes in the full glare of the spotlight, while lesser players continue to quietly disappear, their statistics the only residue of their existence in the game. But baseball was changing. New franchises would spring up in new cities. Interleague play would be instituted during the regular season as the lines between the American and National Leagues began to blur. One team would even change leagues, something that had never happened before. And baseball would expand the playoffs, allowing wildcard teams into the postseason. It would now be possible for a second-place team to win the World Championship. Salary levels, attendance, and home runs
Where's the greatest Asian player?
just as
Ichiro
new waves of
Suzuki?
immigrants continue to enrich the country that had
Yeah,
created
who's two? Hideo
the
Matsui?
trio of remarkable
three?
pitchers would lead the Atlanta Braves to 14 consecutive division
Samsung
titles,
Ha?
while a hard luck 6 times in 8 years.
What's the greatest?
The
Echo
age-old
Martinez?
battle between the owners
Oh,
and
you're
managers
shitting me.
will bring the national pastime to its knees. The
What
game
the
would
fuck
have
is
to
that
go through
shit?
its own dark ages before it would emerge stronger than ever before. And behind the scenes, in secret, players on every team found themselves making life-altering decisions about how far they were willing to go to succeed. Meanwhile, an unstoppable assembly of free
I'm
spirits
pretty much
playing for one
unstoppable.
of the sport's
I'm an
oldest teams
unstoppable sex
would be
train.
impossible,
Hey, baby.
erasing decades of despair for their followers. Through it all, baseball, still the best game that's ever been invented, managed to create some of the most vivid memories and provide some of the most dramatic moments anyone had ever seen.
The idea that you can walk into a ballpark, whether it's Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, or wherever, and sit down and watch a game played by boys who have become men. So you can imagine yourself still playing this game no matter what age you are. And when you sit there, the door to your past life, which occurred 15 minutes ago at the office, on the bus, in your home, that door closes and you get lost in the technical details, the intricate details of baseball as it's played out. There's always a surprise in baseball.
Country 2023.
God, I never thought you'd be able to get to that.
All time. Best
That's
country.
part of baseball's magic.
This is how life was, kids. This is what life was. This is how much you kick ass in America. He's like, yeah, I believe that.
On October 14th, 1992, the Pittsburgh
What
Pirates
in
were
the
in
fuck?
Atlanta, facing the Braves in the seventh and deciding game of the National League Championship Series. With 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, Pittsburgh led 2-1, but Atlanta had the bases loaded.
You're
Their
not.
pinch hitter, Francisco Cabrera, who had had only 10 at-bats all season, was at the plate.
And now the Braves season hangs in the balance.
Most assumed that the runner on second, Sid Green, hobbled by 5 knee operations, would be held at third. But the third base coach sent Green anyway.
To the plate, and he is the Braves got the World Series.
For the next decade and a half, Atlanta would dominate the National League, returning again and again to the postseason. The once promising Pirates would go in the opposite direction, often finishing at the bottom of the standings. And their supremely talented left fielder, who had almost thrown Bream out, would never again play for Pittsburgh. During the off-season, he would sign the most expensive free agent contract the game had yet seen. He would go on to become one of the greatest and most controversial players in the history of baseball.
I'm Amy King in the PSI 24-hour newsroom. A man from Southgate has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for killing his 5-month-old daughter. The baby died in
He's a very
2019
complicated
from blood
character.
trauma to her head.
He
Her father
is
was 22 years
really
old at the time. He treated no contact by
blessed,
He was brought to you by my
and yet he gave the impression that his life was burdened, that the gifts that he had somehow just wore down, and that he couldn't stand for people to be in this space. I've come to believe that we should never get to know anybody too well, and I think that we got to know him too well.
Back in the spring of 1986, a slender young outfielder named Barry Lamar Bonds had been called up by the Pittsburgh Pirates. His promise as a baseball player was undeniable.
Serious ass free.
He was the son of Bobby Bonds, who had signed his first professional contract 11 days after Barry was born. He was sent to North Carolina to play in the minors, 2,500 miles away from his wife and infant son, back in Riverside, California. Fans called him unspeakable names: Darky, Coon, Nigger. He was lonely and humiliated. But on the field, Bobby Bonds hit lots of home runs and stole lots of bases. And before long, he was promoted to the San Francisco Giants.
I got something that something running home about.
He played in the outfield alongside the great Willie Mays to be young Barry's godfather. When he was just 2 years old, Barry hit a wiffle ball so hard he shattered a living room window
and at 5 began accompanying his father to Candlestick Park. He followed his godfather everywhere, seeing that Mays, after years of celebrity, seemed tired of the demands of stardom. Barry heard Mays advise his father not to trust anyone, to look out only for number one. As Barry began to develop his own skills on Bay Area Little League diamonds, his father became a star, twice stealing 30 bases and hitting 30 home runs, and winning 3 Gold Glove Awards. Home runs and steal 30 bases, he came to resent the fans, the press, and those who ran the game.
No one in baseball ever supported Bobby Bonds. The owner, the general manager, the press, the teammates, nobody in the game stood up for the father. So what Barry learned about baseball was great talent matters, great scholarship about the game matters, but you can't count on anybody in this game to stand up for you because they didn't stand up for my father.
By the time he finished high school, Barry Bonds had become one of the best young players in the country. In 1982, the Giants offered to sign him for $70,000. But when Bonds asked for just $5,000 more, they decided to pass, and he went to Arizona State University instead. 3 years later, Bonds signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and after only 115 minor league games, was called up to the majors. He was only 21 years old, but expectations could not have been greater. On the base paths and in the outfield, Bonds was exceptionally fast and quickly established himself as one of the greatest defensive players in the game.
Do you think
one day a teammate said he will put up numbers no one can believe?
Baseball player of all time?
Bonds had speed.
I think
he had power.
Bobby Bonds.
He had defensive ability. He had base running intelligence. He knew the game backwards and forwards. He had a great flair.
That's what about who I thought they were
of the greatest player of all time, which we all want to see.
Like college. Redwood City.
It's a game that he loves, a game that he enjoys, a game that he has fun playing. If he handles himself the way he is capable of, he's going to be a consistent star for years, said his manager, Jim Lehman. But off the field, he could be self-absorbed, defensive, and prone to volatile outbursts.
You never knew what you were getting at Barry Bonds' locker. One day he could be very charming and tell you the greatest stories of the world. The next day he just might bite your head off and tell you to get lost in very unpolite terms.
I'm his father, man. You gotta realize this. When we walked in the clubhouse and he stopped talking to me, he goes into this place and he didn't want to be bothered. He did little to cultivate the press. My job does not say walk in the locker room and kiss butt, he told them. It says go to work. When reporters mistakenly called him Bobby, he snapped, "I'm Barry. Bobby's my father." And he was quick to remind them how badly he thought they had treated his dad. He asked them to judge him only by his own accomplishments. And when Pittsburgh writers and fans heaped praise and affection on other less talented players like
he didn't play the hero game, and he did chafe at the fact that Andy Van Slyke was a white player and was Mr. Pittsburgh. They used to call him the Great White Hope, and it just shows you how resentful he was that he was the best player. He was the guy with the talent. He was the player who was driving this young Pittsburgh team into a powerhouse, and yet he didn't get the type of recognition that he thought he deserved.
In 1990, Bonds' fifth season.
One of us are 7 motherfuckers in the face.
Ever wonder if we're alone in this vast universe? Marvelous Entertainment has released the newest
Three homes since 19.
Marvin Sunder is a certified film director, video game developer, and the author, of course, behind a series of sci-fi novels.
Baseball writers voted Bonds win its division again in 1991 and 1992. But each time, they failed to reach the World Series as Bonds struggled in the postseason, hitting 191 with only one home run. Still, in 7 brilliant seasons, he had become one of the premier players in the game, twice stealing 30 bases and hitting 30 home runs in a single season, just as his father had, winning 3 Gold Gloves and another MVP.
It's in his mind, I want more. I gotta get more. He's just too proud. He wants to be the best. I mean, he's just like going out there playing.
But the Pirates had never paid him what he thought he was worth. Bonds had no intention of spending the rest of his career in Pittsburgh. And now, at 28, he's talent and his outsized baggage with him. In Seattle, another astonishingly talented son of a major leaguer, Ken Griffey Jr., was thrilling fans with one of the most beautiful swings in all of baseball history, and the joyous abandon with which he played the game. Unlike Barry Bonds, Griffey was loved as well as admired, and in just 5 years in the majors, had come to represent the very best the game had to offer.
Great enthusiasm. He was glorious to watch. Really good to watch. He felt that he was going to shine as the greatest player of his era.
Fifteenth, 1994, in a game between the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, umpires confiscated a bat belonging to the Indian star slugger Albert Bell. They suspected Bell had tampered with it, illegally hollowing it out and filling it with cork to enhance his bat speed. Bell's teammates were worried. They were sure that all of Bell's bats were corked and did not want their best player suspended. Indians pitcher Jason Grimsley had a plan to get his teammate off the hook. Gripping a flashlight with his teeth, he hoisted himself into the crawl space above the clubhouse and inched along on his stomach until he was on top of the umpire's dressing room, where Bell's bat had been locked away for safekeeping. Grimsley lowered himself into the room, replaced Bell's bat with an unadulterated one belonging to another player, and then crawled back to the clubhouse. The umpires were furious when they discovered the switch, but there was little they could do about it.
The hero of the piece is probably Jason Grimsley because he's the one acting on behalf of the team. This is a man willing to commit a kind of low-scale burglary, a minor Watergate operation, in fact, a break-in to go and get this evidence back. I mean, there's something to be celebrated in that. I'm not exactly sure what, but there's your problem with cheating. Some of it is, in fact, weirdly commendable, if not noble. You know, Gaylord Perry, how many times did he throw a spitball, and how many times did he merely convince you that he threw a spitball? How many of these are not so much cheats as deceptions, artful deceptions?
Ever since Jim Creighton, a pitcher for the Brooklyn Niagaras, first illegally snapped his wrist in 1859 to throw a rising fastball designed to fool hitters, players have found ways to bend or get around the rules. For the most part, the game's many transgressors have been celebrated for their creativity as much as they have been castigated for their misdeeds.
What? Because it says the Or
When New York Giants third
like
baseman
some
Bobby Thompson hit one of the most famous
fucking
home runs
screen
in the history of the
it
game,
says to me,
he and his
hey,
teammates
hey,
were
Mark,
using
Mark,
an
Mark, you
alien
little
science
bitch, little
team
bitch.
system
I
that
said,
told the hitters
I
when
got
the
that
pitch was
one,
coming.
but 2 flashlights that will stick up your ass horizontally if you don't get off this fucking board.
Sometimes cut the ball in the sweating ring and smeared it with a mixture of
They're like
turpentine
hard
resin and
ass
baby
mag
oil.
lights.
His teammates
Oh,
called
fuck
Gump.
you, bitch.
He was easily
Right?
elected to the Hall of
I'm gonna
Fame,
take a mag light.
considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Right? Maybe.
2 outs, 2 strikes
Why?
on Reggie. You gotta know he's gonna get the super sinker. The set, here it comes. The sinker swung on and missed. Reggie is gilding it.
Late in his career, Hall of Fame pitcher Gaylord Perry confessed what those who had played against him knew all too well, that he had regularly doctored the ball. Generations of major leaguers, including some of the greatest stars in the game, used some form of amphetamines to increase their focus and energy. But by the late 1980s, some baseball players had found a new way to gain an edge.
Straight up rock.
In 1988, Jose Canseco astounded the baseball world when he became the first player to hit 40 home runs and steal 40 bases in a single season. He told the press that intensive weight training was the reason for his success. But something else was helping him achieve such an unprecedented combination of speed and power.
And it settles into the upper deck.
There was another player now in the Hall of Fame who literally stood with me and mixed something. I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's Jose Canseco milkshake." And that year, that Hall of Famer hit more home runs than he ever hit any other year. So it wasn't just Canseco. And so one of the reasons that I thought that it was an important subject was it was spreading. It was already spreading by 1988.
The sports writer Tom Boswell tried to raise the issue, but no one paid attention. Soon, other players, including some of Canseco's Oakland teammates, were asking him for advice, following his training program.
We had seen these enormous bodies like we've never seen before. And, you know, when you saw some guys take off their shirts, all of a sudden, whoa, what's going on?
Canseco and others had transformed their bodies by taking heavy doses of anabolic steroids, synthetically produced testosterone. When taken in large enough amounts, it allowed users to lift prodigious amounts of weight every single day, rapidly building muscle mass while increasing their speed and agility.
They found out if you take this, you'll get stronger quicker. The ball will go 15 feet further than it ever did. You swing through the zone. Press home plate, which is that big, will be that much quicker, thus more power. They're human. They have a lot of time on their hands during the day. They watch sports. They watch ESPN. The highlight films are all, wow, look at that grand slam home run, hit the upper deck. There's no highlight films of bunts.
Synthetic testosterone had been created by European scientists in the 1930s and used experimentally by the Germans during the Second World War to enhance their soldiers' strength and aggressiveness. During the Cold War, Eastern Bloc countries gave enormous doses to their Olympic athletes and won medal after medal. In the 1960s, professional football players started using them. But in the megadoses athletes took, steroids could cause tendon and ligament tears, kidney and liver damage, impotence, heart disease, and cancer. By 1990, when Congress passed a law making it a felony to traffic in steroids, the Olympics, the NCAA, and the NFL had already banned them. In the wake of drug scandals that had rocked the game in the 1980s, Commissioner Faye Vincent was more concerned with preventing cocaine and marijuana abuse. And the powerful Major League Baseball Players Association
now led by Donald Fear, was vehemently opposed to any mandatory steroid screening program as a violation of their members' right to privacy. As a result, professional baseball players were free to take whatever they wanted, with no fear of punishment.
The notion that we would willingly surrender to our employer as the price of a job all the protections we insist on from the government is a rather extraordinary notion.
The Players Association did a horrible job in this case. They should have seen this early on and said, wait a minute, how can we expect some of our players to compete at a competitive disadvantage or force them to make the horrible choice of running whatever risks there may be to their health or their reputations or whatever it may be to either use to keep up or don't use and inevitably fall behind? Who is it that we represent? The guilty or the innocent?
It's my belief that the means that existed in the 90s existed in the 20s, that Babe and all his friends would have jumped in both. And so would Mays and Mantle and the people in the 50s. If you're looking at that and saying to yourself, I'm 35, I'm making $3 million a year as a backup midfielder for the San Diego Padres, not to pick on them. I take this stuff, I could play another 5 years and make another $15 million for my family for the fact that the rest of my life. Why would you not do it? He would have done anything to get to the big leagues before. He'll do anything to stay in the big leagues now. I think that's both very human and also very true of anyone with the kind of personality that gets to the top of it and can be cured
By medication. If you want to talk about a performance-enhancing culture, let's look at Viagra. Let's look at Levitro, all of these things that are advertised on daytime TV. This is the time we live in. We believe that modern medicine can make us Superman. If our favorite ball players have succumbed to societal pressures to improve themselves, they are no worse than we are.
People get upset. Who in the whole country wouldn't take a pill to make more money at your job? You would. If I hey, there's a pill and you're going to get paid like Steven Spielberg, you would take the pill. You just would.
It hasn't been easy being a Giants fan. I ask myself the question all the time, why do I care so much? Honestly. It has to be a character flaw on my part, a vice or just a weakness. The Giants have been in San Francisco, my hometown, for 50 years, and we don't have a single world championship to show for it. They haven't won the World Series since 1954. They were in New York, and I'm middle-aged now. And I'm starting to wonder if it's ever going to happen in my lifetime.
Ever since they had moved to San Francisco's Candlestick Park, the Giants had struggled to draw fans to the coldest and windiest stadium in the majors. In 1992, owner Bob Lurie demanded that the city build him a new park, and when they refused, decided to sell the club to investors who would move it back across the continent to Florida. Then, Peter McGowan, a former supermarket magnate, bought the team and promised one day to build the Giants a new ballpark. He then began searching for a star, a high-profile free agent who could attract the legions of fans he would need to pay for his new stadium.
Good news for Giant fans. Baseball's richest contract handed out. Your contract with the Giants worth in excess of $43 million.
It was a Saturday night. I was home. I was watching television, and there was a news flash that the Giants were going to sign Barry Bonds. Are you kidding me? Because the Giants had a chance to sign him coming out of... I mean, if someone had told us at the time, we would have gladly passed the hat. and signed him for the money. So when he came back, we thought, okay, we've closed that miserable chapter, and now maybe we have a chance. And I was aware of his reputation, but I didn't care.
I can't say how excited I am to have the opportunity to go back home and have something to share with my family and the city that I grew up in. My godfather, Willie Mays, it's like a boy's dream that comes true.
He chose to wear his father's old number 25. And a few days later, the Giants announced that Bobby Bonds himself would be rejoining his old team as hitting and first base coach. Bobby had sworn off the drinking that had derailed his career and complicated his relationship with his family, and was happy.
Well, he hit a home run in his first at bat in Nelson Park and then won the game in dramatic fashion. And from day one, he was playing on a level that I had never seen before. And so Barry Bonds put that team on his shoulders. He hit 46 home runs. It's just every time they needed a dramatic home
run, 123 RBIs, all career highs. He was named MVP for the third time. He was making baseball fun again in San Francisco. But for all of Bonds' greatness, the Giants would make the playoffs only once in the 1990s and never reach the World Series.
It's part of being the Giants fans have made with themselves to get over the fact that there's no title. Yeah. So from 1993 forward, Bonds became the next best thing.
No, right. That's okay. 25.
Baseball's economic
Tommy John, 26. I need that fucking surgery. Lady, you can vibrate as long as you want, but that's like Tommy John surgery. We call it Robinson syndrome, kid. Alright, are you done?
And it is utterly unsuited to the modern age.
Anybody play them off like one?
In 1994, Ball Dynasty, they were loaded with young talent. Moises Alou, Larry Walker, Marquise Grissom, Pedro Martinez.
Anybody else?
And they posed a serious threat to the Atlanta Braves, the best team in the National League. By the end of July, the Expos seemed unstoppable. They were led by
most teams. That person would be really important to know. They tell you how to run an organization, but really by
I have been managed at any level. We had a club that we developed. We had tremendous pitching. We had defense.
All right, here we go, baby.
It was young and eager and very hungry and healthy club.
Montreal was not the only city where great baseball was being played that summer. In San Francisco, Barry Bonds' teammate Matt Williams was hitting home runs at a furious pace, possibly on track to break Roger Maris's single-season record of 61. In San Diego, Tony Gwynn, the Padres' superb right fielder, had been hitting so consistently that he had been able to keep his batting average above 390. By August, it seemed he might do what no one had done since Ted Williams in 1941, hit 400 for the season. But then, developments off the field stole the spotlight. Ever since the players had formed their UC6, tensions with the owners had steadily escalated. There had been a strike or a lockout every time they had to negotiate a new contract. And over the years, court rulings had given the players more and more power. Now, in the middle of the 1994 season, the Two adversaries were embroiled in their bitterest contract dispute.
Where it
That
was
scares.
expected that when a
Like
collective bargaining
James.
agreement expired,
Octavio
the two
Doto.
sides would be at daggers drawn, and you would have a work stoppage. This bitterness and suspicion
You ever feel like you're such a
because
pimp?
a number of others, frankly, were unreconciled to the existence, not just this or that behavior of the union, the existence of the union.
Why did they want to break the union? Because then they could go back to setting the salary levels, and over any significant period of time, the difference in their revenue would be measured in billions of
Are
dollars.
you done?
Desperate to unify their own ranks, the owners, who had also been squabbling among themselves over revenue, had ousted Commissioner Fade Vincent, replacing him with one of their own, Milwaukee Brewers owner Bud Selig.
Ever caught yourself by side?
Selig was certain that if baseball was to thrive, the owners had to work in concert.
Unfortunately, so intense that we just couldn't get anywhere. By 93 and 4, you knew that disparity had set in. The small and medium market clubs were really feeling that they had no chance. The system needed significant economic change, and we were getting nowhere. And you couldn't go on the way we were going.
During the 1994 season, the owners made a proposal they knew the union would never accept. If the union agreed to a limit on the total amount each team could pay its
Everybody just
players,
continue coming.
a salary cap.
Don Fear and Players Association have been talking for 15 years about how a salary cap was off the table, that they could never accept such a thing, and they reacted accordingly.
You know, as far as we're concerned, we're ready to play, but we're obviously not coming under the terms of the salary cap. So as soon as they're ready to come to us with a deal, we feel it's good.
Players walked out. The baseball season was suspended indefinitely. The owners were prepared to wait them out, confident that the union would give in.
The question here, ladies and gentlemen, is one very simple one. The players went out on strike. And all we have been trying to find out is how much more they want.
This dispute arises because the clubs could not get their own internal house in order to redefine their revenue sharing rules. You had two sides locked in a battle that neither thought to be lost. It's like people who go to court thinking the jury has got to see it my way because I'm in the right, but only a fool goes to court. Only a fool stops playing baseball in the middle of August.
Heroes walk customs, and the other shoe has finally dropped in the ongoing baseball wars. The acting commissioner, Bud Selig, the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, has just made it official. The remainder of the regular season and the entire postseason playoffs and World Series have officially been canceled. This year's race was just
I'll fuck some shit,
How
bitches.
these two sides really hated each other, and how little they thought of the public.
Basically, what they're arguing over how to spend our money, right? You know, I mean, I'm a baseball fan, like to see them play ball, but I have no sympathy for either party.
The fact that it shut down and stayed shut down was devastating. I can remember being in New York in the fall and being on the 17th and going past Shea Stadium. It looked like a graveyard. I can remember just thinking they should be playing right now. And just being so angry to the point where there were tears in my eyes.
When the season ended after 117 games, Tony Gwynn's batting average was .394.
I remember very well talking to Tony Gwynn, who had really nothing to gain. I will sacrifice for the coming generation of ball players.
Felipe Alou and the Montreal Expos were in first place in their division with a 6-game lead over the powerful Atlanta Braves. They would never find out if they were in fact the best team in baseball.
It was really sad to not finish the season. I believe that if we would finish that season, we were going to win it. We were going to get a stadium. The interest of the fans there was going to be great. That was the beginning of the end.
The Expos would never play that well again. Their fans never came back. 12 years later, Montreal would lose its baseball team.
This was the strike that couldn't get it together.
I still think this can be settled. The parties are just going to have to decide whether they want to have a baseball season. That doesn't happen.
During the off-season, the owners declared that negotiations had reached an impasse and that they would therefore implement a salary cap unilaterally. And they outraged fans by starting to hire replacements to put on the field in place of the striking major leaguers. But in March of 1995, federal judge Sonia Sotomayor found the owners guilty of negotiating in bad faith. The players agreed to go back to work under the contract that had been in effect before the strike began. In the end, the owners had lost more than $700 million without winning a single concession. But the players had forfeited something more precious, the respect of millions of fans who couldn't understand why they had walked out in the first place, since many of them were
in the entertainment business. They forget that without fans, they're back on the farm playing ball before cows, because there's nothing intrinsically valuable about the ability to smack a ball with a bat.
It's a shame that sometimes those things happen because the fans don't deserve it. That baseball has an ugly face, and it's negotiations and not greedy. But fans can always remember that we love to play for them. I don't think it's just because of the money. I think it's
Ball parks reopened in the spring of 1995. Many stadiums were half empty.
Very young.
And those fans who did come out seemed more interested in berating their hometown teams than cheering them on.
I have never encountered such bitterness and such assurances on the parts of my friends that they would never watch another baseball game, that they no longer cared about the game. They were going to shift their allegiance not only from one team to another, but from one sport to another.
I think the anger really took baseball officials aback. They really did not think that the anger could sustain itself, and it really did. And I think that you saw a fan base saying to baseball, you know what?
Fans climbed onto the field and tossed dollar bills at the feet of Mets players. In Detroit, they threw bottles and cans, baseballs and lighters, even a hubcap onto the field. All across the country, the game's biggest stars were met with choruses of boos. The loudest taunts were reserved for players who had spoken for the Union, like Atlanta's ace left-hander Tom Glavine. A month into the season, attendance was down 20%. Something had to be done. The owners and the players knew they could never risk alienating the public again.
You suffer a shocking loss, and you think it's never going to be the same again. And you're thinking, I'm not going to another game. I'm not going to pay management's wallets. I'm not going to do it. I'm sick of all of it. And then Ripken comes.
Cal Ripken Jr. never wanted to do anything but play in the major leagues. The son of a Baltimore Orioles coach, he could be ready for the next day's game. Since May of 1982, he had started every Orioles game.
Cal Ripken's misunderstood. He's not a great hitter who's a good shortstop. He's a great shortstop who's a good hitter. Magnificent at charging the ball. Excellent going in the hole. Excellent behind the second baseman because they pick up a ground ball. He will do the 360 and throw the first one real straight. He loved to turn double play because he loved to go up in the air and come down on the runners and see if he could kill them. He was a tough school guy.
When play resumed after the strike, Cal Ripken was only 116 games shy of breaking one of the most formidable records in baseball. If he stayed healthy, that September, he would pass Lou Gehrig's mark of 2,130 consecutive games played.
People said, gosh, it'd be lucky he didn't get hurt. Every baseball player's hurt by August. Nicks, bruises, scrapes, strains, sprains. He just played through it. This was the face that baseball needed to turn to a disenchanted fan base. And it could not have been better.
As he approached the record, Ripken quietly waged a solitary campaign to refill half-empty ballparks, one fan at a time.
In terms of paranormal activity, do you think it's increasing?
Yes, I stay in my own house.
Truly acted like an adult after the strike and saw what he could bring to the game in 1995, even at an enormous cost. Back up from interviewing and finished our stories. It's midnight now, and you look out and there's still a line going all the way back up into the stands, and Cal is still signing autographs.
On September 6, 1995, 5 months after the strike had ended, the Orioles faced the California Angels in Baltimore. Tickets for this game had been sold out for months. After 4.5 innings of play, the game was official. Cal Ripken had played in 2,131 consecutive games. It would be 3 more years before he finally took a day off. By then, Cal Ripken had played in 2,632 straight games. Baseball had learned its lesson. From now on, it would honor its players and celebrate its most defining moments.
Watch Charlie and see where he sets up. No, staying away.
Got it. Took some off. 10 strikeouts for Maddox.
After the strike, the Atlanta Braves, led by manager Bobby Cox, resumed their remarkable supremacy over the National League. Much of their success was due to their phenomenal pitching staff, anchored by Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, and Greg Maddux.
I'd love to watch Greg Maddux pitch. I'd love to watch this guy who looks like a CPA. I don't mean to knock CPAs. Well, none of my best friends are CPAs, but I don't mean to knock CPAs. You see Maddux off the field, he puts on his glasses. He's this really kind of nerdy looking guy. He's not big. He's very normal size. He does not throw particularly hard. And he's arguably one of the 3 or 4 best pitchers in baseball history. This absolute knowledge of knowing what he's doing. And watching how he does that was a thrill through the 90s when he was at his best. He was the best pitcher I've ever seen.
Greg Maddux had learned the game on the ball fields of the many Air Force bases where his father was stationed. Maddux succeeded spectacularly by relying on pinpoint control of 5 different pitches and an uncanny ability to detect each hitter's weakness. In 1995, Maddux led the league in wins, ERA, and innings pitched, winning his 4th consecutive Cy Young, something no pitcher had ever done before.
It's kind of like Dream State. He was kind of half aware of those things, half aware. And I thought I was talking. I blocked. I just kind of blocked when I was kind of in that space. And I was watching so hard, I was standing at a wall. One of the guys had to put his hand behind my phone, so I didn't get myself a concussion. But I thought I was rambling away. But all I heard was rambling, just gibbering. And Corey, who had been working with these guys, kind of training them a little bit, he goes, "Let's just play that."
And helped pitch his team to a pennant in 1992, leading the league in strikeouts and winning 3 games in the postseason. Tom Glavine from Billerica, Massachusetts, had excelled as a pitcher and hockey player in high school and was drafted by both the Braves and the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL. When the Braves had gone from last to first in 1991, Glavin, who had perfected a baffling changeup, led the way, winning 20 games and the first of his 2 Cy Young Awards. In 1995, Atlanta's 3 aces pitched the Braves to their 3rd World Series appearance
Who's right in
in
this
5
situation?
years.
You just like this.
They would face
Now
the
you
Cleveland
like that.
Indians,
So that you
playing
should
in
be
their
able to live
first
at
series
least
since
10 minutes in
1954. Led by
9
Albert Pujols,
close.
Jim
So what
Thome,
did you want to just
and the
walk in there?
23-year-old outfielder Manny
He
Ramirez,
should be able to
Cleveland had
finish
slugged
20
its
minutes
way
a
to
year.
100 wins. The Indians were confident,
With the door
outspoken,
closing to get everybody out.
and quick to remind Atlanta that they had lost both World
That's
Series they
all.
had played. But
What was
thanks to
the
their
name of it?
superb pitching, Atlanta won 3 out of the first 5 games. In Game 6, Bobby Cox sent Tom Glavine out to try to secure the Braves' first World Series
My
title
city was
since
gone
1957, when
by
they
the
were in
pretenders.
Milwaukee. Atlanta fans who had booed Glavine unmercifully on opening day for being a player representative now cheered him on as he went to work on Cleveland's powerful lineup. Glavine pitched away from batters all night, continually locating his fastballs and changeups along the outside edges of the plate. He allowed just 1 hit in 8 innings. David Justice's solo home run in the 6th was all the score the Braves needed.
To the track, she's gone. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s wins its world championship.
Baseball was coming back.
I started covering the Yankees in 1976, and the insanity that surrounded that team, with all the Billy Martin firings, all the Reggie Jackson incidents, never really stopped. It was always beneath the surface. But the idea that one person could come into the middle of that, below the level of each other, just as the manager, someone who can be undermined, someone that you can go over, and that person can have so much sanity, so much decency, so much insight into how to handle people, that he can bring sanity to an inherently insane situation.
How is this going to go single? Boom, boom. Na, 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 na.
George Steinbrenner, the autocratic owner of the New York Yankees, had only one objective: winning the World Series. And since the 1970s, he had spent more than anyone else buying up expensive free agents, trading away homegrown prospects, driving up salaries, and enraging his fellow owners. But in spite of his efforts, the Yankees had not won a world championship since 1978. In the summer of 1990, Steinbrenner had been suspended from the team for paying a small-time hustler for damaging information about one of his best players, Dave Winfield. With Steinbrenner banished, Yankees general manager Gene Michael was free to build a winning club. He held on to his best young players and gave them time to develop. As he looked for seasoned veterans more concerned with winning
I gotta
games,
sing this.
piling
Really?
up personal statistics,
I don't want to.
Michael hired Buck Showalter to manage the club. And in 1995,
Go, dog.
the Yankees made it to the playoffs
What
for
is
the
this?
first time in
Go,
14
dog.
seasons. But by then, Steinbrenner had been reinstated,
Sounds like
and
it's
he was not
12:06 p.m. on
satisfied
a
with just
weekday.
reaching the postseason. He replaced Michael, fired Showalter, and for the 19th time in 23 years, he began searching for a new manager.
In 1995, I was fired by the Cardinals in June.
Success, yeah, on the
And
day.
when I look back at my managing career, I managed the Mets,
ROTHSCHILD.
I managed the Braves. I think I ran out of clubs. And the Yankees called.
Joseph Paul Torrey was born in the Marine Corps section of Brooklyn, the fifth Charlie's detective. As a boy, Torrey loved to play ball with friends on practice, would go on to play for the Milwaukee Braves. And it was while visiting him during the 1957 World Series that Joe Torrey decided he too wanted to be a major
Akron, it's near Columbus.
He eventually played 17 seasons in the National League as a catcher and infielder, winning the MVP in 1971, but never reaching the World Series.
I've never heard this.
In 14 years
I've heard
after
it
that,
many times.
he had only 5 winning seasons.
Yeah. Anyone
The Yankees
over
decided to take a chance on Joe
30
Torre.
has probably
The
heard
young
this
media
song.
were unimpressed.
But not, no one's heard the whole
Daily
thing.
News called it
I went back to Ohio.
The New York Times asked, "What's a nice fellow like Torre doing in a place like this?" I was overwhelmed by the application. And probably find out by yourself high-profile ball club. When I had my first meeting, I explained that every single coach on my coaching staff
There's songs about Ohio.
Well, I thought 1996 Torrey was the perfect guy for the Yankees. What would be the worst thing that could happen to him? Fired again. So he came in with this playing with houses playing kind of attitude. I think that's what he did in New York.
Torrey's opening day lineup in 1996 included Bernie Williams, a shy, switching inception fielder whose scouts hoped would anchor the Yankee batting order for years to come. In right field was the gritty Tiger-Long veteran Paul O'Neill. Tino Martinez, a power-hitting lefty from Florida, had replaced longtime first baseman Don Mattingly. In the bullpen was a promising young reliever from Panama, Mariano Rivera. John Wetland, acquired from the Baby Expos, was the closer. And at shortstop was a supremely poised rookie from Kalamazoo, Michigan, who had previously played for the Yankees since the third grade.
I like that one place. CJOB, CJOB,
And Derek Jeter walked in there like this was his second time around the big leagues. He played his league before. Nothing bothered him.
What the gun and
The Yankees played a national league. Stealing bases, moving up runners, scuffling for runs, and every contribution.
That's the super nice people in that. Yeah, what was it? Bowling Green, Ohio. They were so nice. They gave us fucking hot chocolate and breakfast and donuts and all kinds of shit. Yeah. They were so nice to us. Really? They were so nice. We were just walking on the side of the road, all too drunk to drive and all that stuff. And it was really it was like 6:30 in the morning. We were there for cross country race, and I was like, oh my god. I think I did. And I remember my friend C-Rod. That's right. My friend C-Rod's like, dude, we ate at that lady's house. And You know those donuts? Yeah, and I ate a ton of them.
This absence of ego is absolutely astounding. Many sports, I think it's
Zendaya.
he had the players. But the one wild card with the
Yeah, dog.
Yankees
I want to
was
know
George
everything
Steinbrenner.
about this song.
Joe
Money,
would
money,
be
money,
the first manager
money. OJ.
over and
I
over
want to know
again
everything
would
about
talk
the
about
OJs.
George Steinbrenner, and he'd talk about him reverentially. Hey, he's the boss. And obviously, he
He'd
can
be like,
fire
what do
me
you know
tomorrow.
about the
And one
OJs?
day he is going to fire me.
Like, I know a lot about
But
Stevie Wonder.
he's wrong when he says that about my guys.
From where
And I
Stevie
called him and
Wonder?
I told him he's right.
Saginaw, Michigan. Really?
In the playoffs,
Yeah, everyone
the
thinks
Yankees
it's
dispatched the
Detroit,
Texas
but
Rangers,
it's Saginaw.
then beat
The
Baltimore
Saginawdy.
in the pennant.
Where is that?
After 34 years and
Really?
4,268
Saginawdy.
games in professional baseball,
Saginawdy.
Joe Torre was
Is it by
finally
Ypsilanti?
going to the
No.
World Series.
It's closer
You know,
to
the paychecks are pretty
Bay
good in Major
City.
League Baseball, but if you want to know what the World
Really?
Series is about, all you have to do is look at the face of Joe Torre when they beat the Orioles and won the American League pennant to go to the World Series in 1996. It's a grown man crying in public. He basically devoted his entire adult life to getting there. No one had ever put in that many games and never been to a World Series. He was the only one. And to finally get there after all those
Why
years.
don't you West Side fuck? And then he'd become the
And I
greatest.
remember him saying the night
manager
of Game 1 of the 1996 World Series, when they announced his name and he ran out there, that's when it really hit him. There were no other games going on. The out-of-town scoreboard was completely blank, and that's when the moment really hit him.
Are you sure
I
about
mean,
that? Would you?
This was it.
Are
This was
you
the top of
gonna double
Everest.
down on that? Yeah,
The Yankees would face Joe Torre's old team.
Where's Saginaw, Michigan? That's my question,
Going for
dog.
their second straight World Series title.
Saginaw, Michigan is very colorful.
In the first
Huh?
game at Yankee Stadium, the heavily favored World Series defeat in Yankee history.
I
George
never
Steinbrenner walks in
broken.
my office before game 2, and he says, this is a big game.
Only kind of
Yeah, I know. I know it's a big game. Only 7 games you get to play here. And for some reason, I was in a goofy mood.
Hey, goofy move.
And Maddox is pitching against us.
Greg Maddox, they were down 0-2.
Really
And they won
playing
4
well right
fucking
now.
straight.
We're out of whack.
Like a bunch of G's.
I said, we may lose again tonight.
Like a G.
I said, but we're going to
6.
Atlanta. It's my town.
What is this?
I said, we'll win 3 there, and then next Saturday we'll come back and win the series for you. And I walked out.
Dude, now I remember. I totally forgot this. Phil Burney and I, and so Angela too, and my dad would watch Yankees games.
Out of the next 3 games in Atlanta,
Tailgate.
just to stay alive.
Really? Yeah, it'd be like the game
If
and
you're
then the
down
tailgate.
to,
All
which
on
is the way
NBC.
we were, David
Really?
Cohen is my
Yeah.
pitcher, and he's the
Phil
only
Burney
one
was a huge
experienced,
Yankees
so I
fan.
trusted David Cohen.
Really? Yeah.
The son of a Kansas City industrial mechanic, David Cohn had helped the Toronto Blue Jays to a World Series
Yo,
victory
dog.
over Atlanta back
Hey,
in
Aaron Kendrick.
1992.
Everyone thinks you suck.
But an aneurysm
Really,
in
you
his throwing
G-face
arm
cunt.
had sidelined him for much of
Hey.
1996, and only guile and
What is it?
determination had allowed him to finish the season.
I wanted you to know the history of the
Cohn
OJs.
quieted the Atlanta bats through 5 innings.
The
In the bottom
OJs.
of the 6th,
Money, money, money.
Cohn loaded the bases.
Wow. What'd you do?
Fred McGriff, the Braves' fearsome cleanup.
Eddie LeVert. He was born in Bessemer, Alabama, in 1942. He moved to Canton at the age of 8. I hope to never learn to fucking act.
He gets that business over with, and there's really no argument the next time you go out and take the ball. But I wanted to go out and just get a feel for David.
Yo, dog, my name was his.
He's had some problems physically.
Yo, dude, you were
I just wanted
right.
to make sure he was fine.
What's this with
And I
Saginaw?
looked at his eyes.
Saginaw to Bay
Tell me
City.
the truth. Are you all right? I'm okay. Now, he may not have been okay.
It's 12 fucking miles, dog. You're pretty
And
smart for all of
he
that.
is, was
Right?
his
Yeah,
obligation
so like
now to prove it.
Stevie Wonder and my family basically from the kid. My Jewish too. Really? Who's this? Yeah. This was so big. I'll never forget. Phony. Phony. Klesko, Ryan Klesko. That's our kid's dress. Back in the day, that kid looked cool as fuck. Wait. Bernie Williams.
The Yankees scored 3 more runs in the 8th inning, and John Wetton closed out
John
the
Wetton.
Braves in the 9th.
He was so good. Yep. So, who won the game? I had that jacket, kids. That was the one jacket. Who got you that jacket?
The Braves took a huge early lead.
The Yankees fell behind 6-0.
Damn.
They said some of the Braves fans
Really?
went home. And I hope they never came back for another ball game after that for the rest of their lives.
We're down 3 games to 1 in this ball game. And I said, let's just cut the lead in half. Let's not eat the whole thing right now, but let's peck away.
Really? Yeah.
In the top of the 6th inning, the Yankees began to fight back.
Now Alonso, a hit and a walk. Into right field. Base hit. It gets past Don. Here comes Jeter. He'll score. Headed to third is Bernie Williams. They bring him around. And it's a 4-run game.
In the top of the 8th inning, with the Yankees still down 3 runs, reserve catcher Jim Leyritz came to bat with 2 men on. He faced reliever Mark Wohlers, whose fastball had once been clocked at 103 miles per hour.
Jim Leyritz. Remember how this fucking leg was? Really? Yeah. I remember watching this, freaking out. Really? Yeah. I was in my mom's room. I think my dad was in Chicago. We spent 2 days a week in Chicago for like a year and a half. We were like, maybe just a year. But yeah. Actually, I remember shitting myself. Yeah.
With 2 outs in the top of the 10th, the Yankees loaded the bases. Torrey had only 1 position player left on his bench, but it was Wade Boggs, one of the most disciplined hitters in the game.
Wade Boggs? Yeah, I was thinking of Wade Boggs sucks. Wade Boggs sucks. And then it's like, oh, thank God that one swing.
In the bottom of the 10th, Yankee pitcher John Wetton kept Atlanta from scoring.
Jones will walk down to second. Pendleton shoots it to deep left. Range is there. Falling as he can.
At 4 hours, 17 minutes, it was the longest game in World Series history.
And this series is tied.
Who won the game for him?
New York won the next game as well, just as Torrey had promised Steinbrenner, and they returned to Yankee Stadium,
So it was
needing 1 more victory.
3-2. And
The 6th game of the World Series. Now I'm finally.
it was the front page of Sports Illustrated. And I remember with Mr. Judge's library class, and they always had the new Sports Illustrated out, and all the boys would always run to them. And it was like if your team was on the front page of running to it, and
what? Out of 9th inning.
Yo, that,
That piece up in the dugout.
who caught it?
He's going to catch it. He's going to catch it. It's over. He's going to catch it. He's going to catch it. And then he swallowed again.
Who catches it?
And all of a sudden, the next pitch, same place, except it looks like it's going to stay in the field where you can make a play. See, who's come up.
After 18 years, the Yankees, the most successful franchise in baseball history, were back on top.
Wow, it was so amazing, kids. It sounded just like this on ESPN 1000.
I was just drinking it all in.
I think I was there with my dad when that's what happened. But yeah.
And I never bothered to take my uniform off. I left the ballpark with my uniform drenched. Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced more excitement.
The New York Yankees would win the World Series again in 1998, 1999 New York Mets in the first Subway Series since 1956. The heart of the Yankees would remain the homegrown players they had so carefully cultivated. Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, and Derek.
I grew up hating the Yankees. I've never been ashamed. I think it's very clear that over 90% of all baseball fans hate the Yankees and should. The operation. But just scrappy, smart gal. How you play team baseball in 4-3, not 9-1. They were a wonderful team to watch. And it was a bitter pill for me. But I did realize that it was my job to get over the hump, and I think that there was about a 3-year period back
Are you sure you played right field? I didn't put that.
Swallowed the bile and gave credit where credit was due.
He played right, dog.
That Yankee team will probably be, ironically, the best team I ever
Right
covered.
fielder.
That's quite unfortunate, isn't
Hey, position right fielder. He was an American League right fielder. Really? Yeah, I was remembering everything.
Growing up as a Mexican American kid in Northern California, there weren't a lot of positive images. And then in baseball, it was Roberto Clemente. The 7-1 series was an epiphany for me because he just controlled that World Series. He seemed to jump off the TV screen. But when the series was over and he spoke in Spanish, it was really something for me. To see somebody recognize his parents.
El día más grande de mi vida, para lo que es la bendición mía y que me padre me que mi bendición en Puerto Rico.
He was so ramrod straight, spoke with so much pride, and he carried himself in a certain way, and he reminded me of people in my life who I knew, who I respected, who I admired.
Roberto Clemente had come north from the cane fields of Puerto Rico to become baseball's first great Latin star. His fierce pride and dignity, an inspiration for an entire generation. Although Clemente and many other Latin players of his era played with tremendous flair and brought an electrifying intensity to the game, it was not until the 1980s that major league teams began to fully open their doors to talented players from outside the United States. As free agency drove up salaries and signing bonuses for native-born players, teams turned to Latin America, where young prospects were not subject to the baseball draft and could therefore be procured for a fraction of what they would cost in America.
Every team spends millions and millions of dollars to cultivate those players. And the reason that they want to cultivate them is because you can get more players cheaper there. In a sense, it's no different than the first wave of integration with Robinson, where coming out of the Negro Leagues, the African-American player was the cheapest commodity available. And you can cultivate those players the same way you can cultivate the Latino player today. You can get more
in Caribbean countries where baseball was played and revered. The Dominican Republic, Panama, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Colombia. Only Cuba was off limits. By the late 1980s, more came from the Dominican Republic, an impoverished Caribbean nation of only 9 million, than anywhere else. It was said that no one walks off the island. You have to hit your way off. Thousands of Dominican boys with raw talent but little formal training tried to attract the attention of buscones, local scouts who coached children as young as 10, honing their skills, and even performance-enhancing supplements to help them grow strong enough to compete. If a boy was lucky enough at 16 to sign with an American team, his buscone negotiated his contract and helped himself to a hefty cut of the prospect's signing bonus. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays were the first teams to reap the benefits of recruiting and training large numbers of Dominican players. They built baseball academies designed to prepare the hundreds of young boys they had signed for professional baseball and for living in the United States.
It was really difficult for me to adjust. And then the people at the academy told us it's gonna be tough. Don't be crying. Don't be saying you miss this or that. You gotta get strong. And sometimes I really did, even though they told us. I was really homesick because I used to be with my mom all the time. Sometimes, you know, I'd sneak in my mom's bed and sleep with my mom sometimes and talk to her and do the gardening with her. But I didn't have those things. Everything was just baseball, bus rides for 12 hours and then pitch. It was really difficult.
You say, wow, I'm going to America, I'm going to play baseball in New York or Chicago or something like that. And when we got to Butte, Montana, we didn't really see too many people. I remember that I went there with a friend of mine. We both signed from Venezuela. When we got there, it's like, are we really in the United States or what?
Pitch to Nate Thompson towards short. The skill. Barehanded grab. The throw. It's in time.
One of the greatest shortstops. There was this half period where you like, other vez quedado, Omar vez quedado.
In 1997, 15 of the players chosen to play in the All-Star game
No more
were
Garcia
Latin,
Parra.
including Pedro
Name
Martinez,
one more.
Edgar Martinez, Moises Alou, Andres Galarraga, Roberto and Sandy Alomar, Mariano Rivera, Ivan Rodriguez, and Alex Rodriguez.
3 of the 5 most common surnames in recent years in baseball have been Rodriguez, Martinez, and Perez. It's just another wave of immigration, if you will, in making baseball a world sport.
As Hispanic players became increasingly prominent, the media began to highlight their inspiring rise from poverty. And few big leaguers could lay claim
You
to a
can't name
childhood
another
filled
one.
with greater privation than
I
Sammy
think the
Sosa.
second baseman.
He
Ryan
grew up
Sandberg.
desperately poor and fatherless
You
in the
can't name
Dominican
another
sugar
second
town
baseman.
of San Pedro de Macorís, birthplace of dozens of major
Not
leaguers.
one. No,
He scuffled for odd
shortstop. One more
jobs,
shortstop.
shined shoes to bring a few centavos home to his mother, and
Really?
idolized Roberto Clemente.
Yeah.
Sosa
Why?
was fast, skinny but strong, and determined, and attracted the notice of a scout who signed him for $3,500.
Who's that
Sosa
new
worked
guy?
his way up through the minors
He's very
and played for 2 different big league clubs before eventually landing a 3-year, $16 million contract with the Chicago Cubs.
Sammy Sosa, he would have been a day laborer. He would have been someone who would have come to New York. It's one thing, let's talk about living through hunger. Another thing, actually.
Name another fucking shortstop. Huh?
He was hungry as a child, really
Miguel
hungry. Not
Tejada.
hungry to be a successful player, but he was hungry.
Played
As in,
second base, dog.
I don't have enough food. And so it was those experiences that really drove him and really
Drove Sammy Sosa. But only a tiny fraction of those signed by American teams ever made it to the major leagues. Most could look forward to a season or 2 in the minors before being given a plane ticket back home.
En la Grande Liga creo que me voy a sentir ya un poco realizado y no solamente cuando llegue sino cuando me mantenga, porque he visto muchos que han llegado y no se han podido mantener. Bueno, mi sueño es mantenerme en Grande Liga y cuando lo haga, bueno, pues ahí podré ayudar a mi familia y poder hacer todo lo que quiero.
Si llego a la grande voy a ser grandioso, imagínate. Voy a poder tener todo lo que he deseado, todo lo que yo he querido. Por todo lo porque he jugado, todo porque he luchado.
There's a pretty good chance
En mis manos.
if it was one game
Voy a tener la
series.
fama, voy a tener las
What?
personas, voy a estar rodeado de personas que me quieren, de todo el mundo me va a alabar, voy a ser genial, imagínate, grandioso.
The vast
He's
majority
ineligible.
of Latin American players will not use the feelings. You can either go Charlie or you can't. You have movement or you don't.
It's hard to get
You
in.
can throw 90 or you can't. These kids have been programmed in their own minds that they're not going to go back. There's nothing to go back to. So what happens is they stay. And there's great leagues, semi-pro leagues, particularly for these games. They're cool to watch because
Yo,
there's a
dog.
little flash. What I'm sure the scouts saw. But
Yes, my y'all.
I'm
I'm never broken. Let me.
Mike throw hard enough.
Oh,
Just
she better. I am just the only one.
Great baseball here in Brooklyn. Even though they don't want 6-1.
It's an aspect of capitalism. Winners and their losers. These kids would have never given up the opportunity to try. And for a lot of them, it's too painful for them.
Everybody's Roger coming service was improved. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. And if I had it my way, no one would be in the Hall of Fame because I'm the greatest person ever.
Baseball
I
is the
would
most
just be
observable
like
team game.
a shrine of
Nine
around.
players thinly dispersed over 9 days in green
Just strawberry.
and baseball rediscovered
Mets Hall of
in the
Fame.
90s, the ballpark,
That's
which is the setting for this journey.
Throughout the 1990s, as
John
the economy
Mattingly.
boomed and the national pastime continued to recover from the strike,
Hold on.
baseball
Hold on.
found
No.
a new way
I was saying that I saw
back to the game.
Wade Boggs.
It had all started in Baltimore
No.
on the water.
Well, I did, but did I see Don Mattingly?
With its brick facade and asymmetrical outfield fence, it
that
was
might
a
have been who I
welcome
was thinking.
departure from the sterile
Did you?
concrete
I don't
suburban
think so.
stadiums that had been
When did
built
he
in the early
retire?
1970s. People came in
Yeah, I
droves.
think I did see him.
Over the
1995?
next
Yeah.
18 years,
What position did he
19
play?
other clubs would replace their stadiums with cozy new
He was a first
ballparks,
baseman.
publicly financed
Really? Yeah.
architectural acts of faith. That
He is
many
not in the Hall of Fame.
would rehabilitate the
He's a
fading
hitman.
economies
He's
of
dying
the inner cities
baseball.
as much as the fortunes of
And
their
he's
teams.
not in the Hall of Fame. Why? He played in Canada and Canada sucks. He didn't play in Canada.
Unlike the old stadiums they
He
were
only
meant
played
to
as a
be,
Yankee.
the new parks
13 years.
replaced inexpensive seats with luxury boxes
He
that
has nothing
catered
to
to
do with Canada.
well-heeled corporate executives
He might not even
and
live
the
in
high-tech
Canada aside
millionaires
from playing.
America seemed to be
There's a player.
minting every day.
Okay.
As the
What do
new
you want
parks
to
were
do?
built, attendance continued to
International
rise
player.
around the leagues,
He did manage the MLB
and so
All-Star
did the
team
number of
for the
home runs
2018 MLB
that was
Japan
soaring
All-Star
over the
Series.
fences.
Oh, dog.
A no-hitter is
Remember
a rare
when
thrill for the
Don
New York Times,
Mattingly coached the
but nothing quite
2018
captures the
MLB
imagination
Japan
like a
All-Star
home
Series?
run.
Oh, no. Homer at the bat. To the sideburns.
Cecil Fielder hit 50 home runs in 1990, and before that, it hadn't been done since 1977. So when you go back and you look at the rarity of the 50 home run season, it was as remarkable as a no hitter, and
Can't
even more
split
so.
because they're
And
made
then all of a sudden,
100%
it became
cotton.
commonplace.
Home runs had spiked before, but this was quantitatively and qualitatively different. And many started asking whether smaller parks
Baseball
alone could
game.
account for the dramatic change.
Don Mattingly was not in. a hall of fame, and I think you deserve
over the
it.
past 20 years that has
Same
helped
with
Everything
everything.
has helped the hitter.
Who was that one guy?
This game is so far out of balance toward the
He played
hitter.
first base.
That's one of the biggest reasons why you have so
Space
many
Jam.
runs. The ballpark's too
Space
small.
Jam.
The strike zones are small.
Looks like my friend
It's
Phil
tight. You
talked.
can't knock a hitter down without getting him to the ball. Everything helps
Remember
the
my
hitter.
friend? His name was
In 1992, Major League players had hit a total of 3,038 home runs. Just 4 years later, they hit 4,962. Fans loved it.
You're glad you
Some
found that bag
purists
of
were
bread.
not pleased.
Oh my god, I can't believe it wasn't puking.
Baseball went through a period of get two runners on base.
Fuck your
get
couch.
one to the plate, having it.
Fuck your couch, fuck your couch. Everyone.
Problem is, in baseball, it's not always true what Mae West said when she said too much of a good thing is wonderful.
For 37 years, Roger Maris had held the record for the most home runs in a single season. 60 chance at Maris's mark. The Seattle Mariners star center fielder Ken Griffey Jr., who had hit 56 home runs. Mark McGwire excelled at baseball in high school, but took a year off from the game as a junior to pursue golf, where, he said, you were the only one there to blame when something went wrong. In 1987, his first full season with the Oakland Athletics, McGwire had belted 49 home runs, breaking the rookie record by 11. The following year, he began training with teammate Jose Canseco. The duo became known as the Bash Brothers for their soaring home runs and the forearm bump they exchanged after each towering blast. The two sluggers led the A's to the World. Over the next few seasons, McGwire continued to add muscle to his already massive frame and spent months on the disabled list with frequent injuries to his overstrained joints and tendons. But when healthy, he hit balls out of the park with astonishing frequency. In 1995, he hit 39 home runs in only 104 games. In 1996, he smashed 52 in 130 games, better than 1 in every 9 at-bats. It was then that sports writers and fans began to wonder if McGwire might be the one to eclipse Roger Maris, if he could manage to stay healthy for an entire season. Midway through 1997, looking to cut costs, the A's traded McGwire to the St. Louis Cardinals, where he was reunited with his old Oakland manager, Tony La Russa. He finished the season with 58 home runs.
Something happened when that guy landed in St. Louis. He went from playing before empty stadiums in Oakland to full stadiums in St. Louis, arguably the best baseball town in America. He looks like something straight out of American football. I mean, immediately he was embraced by the fans.
McGwire launched his first home run of 1998 on March 31st, a grand slam. On April 14th, he hit his 5th, 6th, and 7th. Ken Griffey kept pace, and by the end of April, he was tied at 11. Then McGwire took off. A home run on May 12th traveled 527 feet. Another on May 16th went 545. On May 19th, he hit 3. And on May 23rd, he hit 2 more.
Probably that's pretty cool.
Teams would come out early for stretching to make sure they watched McGwire take batting practice. I'll never forget, you would step in and you would always... You could have gone.
McGwire finished May with 27 home runs. He was a full month ahead of Maris's 1961 pace. Ken Griffey Jr. struggled to keep up. Then, from out of nowhere, another slugger joined the chase. Sammy Sosa might have had a big contract, but he had never lived up to his potential. Although the now bulked-up slugger had hit 40 home runs in 1996, he remained undisciplined at the One sports writer wrote, he would attack a paper cup if it came floating toward home plate.
Sosa had a good year statistically in '97.
The Cubs hitting coach had devised a plan to help Sosa become a more patient batter.
They would do this repetition drill where they would throw the ball, and Sammy would tap his foot on the ground as like a loading device to load his body, and then he would follow through with his foot and then just connect. And it was just this one little motion, this little hitch that a really good player who maybe was a little overrated, to Sammy Sosa, the superstar.
It all came together in just 7th and 8th, each one. On the 15th, he hit 3. On the 19th, he hit 2. On the 25th, he smashed his 19th home run of the month, breaking a 50-year-old record. By June 30th, he had 33, only 4 fewer than Mark McGwire.
We always looked at the don't fit the description, knew that was true, but we didn't have the example to point to. And then when Sammy Sosa exploded in June of 1998, there it was.
You both come from such different backgrounds as children. Could you ever have envisioned yourself sitting in this setting?
Not really, but I have to say, baseball been very, very good to me.
While McGwire seemed to want to be left alone, Sosa was having the time of his life. His 1,000-watt smile, his palpable sense of joy in what he was doing, enthralled the public, fallen in love with Sammy Sosa. No Latin player, not even Clemente or the Dodgers' great Mexican pitcher of the 1980s, Fernando Valenzuela, had ever before received such an outpouring of affection and admiration.
No.
The baseball players, with all the money they were making, they made baseball seem like drudgery, like it was a job. And so Sammy Sosa was like a throwback. He loved the game, and he wasn't afraid to show it.
Sammy Sosa, he may be from south of the border, but he's as much Chicago as local Georgia.
He was reminding people why they love baseball.
He wasn't really from south of the border. He was from Highland, I mean, I guess.
By
Not like they
the
normally.
home run.
Who was that? Steve Stone?
In St.
Stony,
Louis
be
and
honest.
Chicago, Caracas and San Juan, Tokyo and Santo Domingo, they couldn't get enough of Sosa and McGwire.
People, when they woke up in the morning, they
Sammy
wanted
Sosa's
to know,
restaurant,
did
maybe.
McGwire hit one? Did Sammy hit one? It was a constant update. And everybody had a horse in the race.
I got caught up in it. I was rooting for Sammy as much as I was rooting for McGwire because he's such a nice gentleman. And Sammy is my countryman. And I really became a fan. I was like, how many did he hit today? How many? You know, sometimes when I was pitching, as soon as the game was over.
So now on the porch across the street, the owners put up a sign reading, Sammy was here. In Milwaukee, fans booed when St. Louis's backup first baseman took the field instead of McGwire, who had been given a rare day off. When McGwire came to Pittsburgh, the Pirates had the first back-to-back regular season set. Sosa smashed his 46th of the season, and for the first time since opening day, the two sluggers were tied.
The President testifies. A special edition of NBC Nightly News from Washington.
We have learned that the president did indeed tell Ken Starr that he had an inappropriate relationship.
Sammy Sosa provided a welcome distraction. But then, Steve Wilstein, a reporter covering McGwire for the Associated Press.
I was standing by McGwire's locker in St. Louis, waiting for him to come out of the shower. And there were about a dozen or more reporters there. And these are open stalls. And on his top shelf, he's got a picture of his son And there's also this bottle of something I didn't know.
Androstenedione was marketed as a nutritional supplement. Because it raised testosterone levels, it would eventually be classified as an anabolic steroid. But thanks to government deregulation, it was sold over the counter.
I remember thinking, how do you spell androstenedione? We knew nothing about some drug like that. It was very new on the radar. And I remember looking it up and not really understanding what the heck is this. I can't say there was a complete surprise. There had been rumors out there, and of course McGuire denied it, said he knew nothing about it. But this was something tangible. This was a bottle of something in that locker, something that should have made us question a little deeper. Well, what does it do, and what is going on outside of just that one locker? Because certainly he couldn't be the only person.
Andro, as it was called, had already been banned by the National Football League and International Olympic Committee, and General Nutrition Centers had pulled it from their shelves 2 months ago. In Milwaukee, Bud Seeley visited his local drugstore in search of the supplement.
I went to our pharmacy in Milwaukee, walked in, the pharmacist yelled, "Right over there, Commissioner." I said, "How do you know I'm there?" He said, "I can read the paper too." And he said, "It's legal? Buy it?" I said, "What is it? I never heard of it."
When this happened, I said, "Oh boy, the whole home run chase has been tainted now. It's been ruined." And the exact opposite happened. What happened was that Steve Wilstein actually turned into the bad guy. He became the villain. And it was an example of how powerful the baseball machine could be. And when I say machine, I mean the writers as well, when they wanted to crush a story. Instead of being introspective, instead of being investigative, instead of looking at this as a moment to consider steroids as a possibility for some of the offense in baseball, the response instead was to vilify Steve completely unfairly in the press either.
The idea was shoot the messenger. There was certainly not an embracing of the issue that we have a problem and we need to solve this problem. There was no sense in baseball that this is just the tip of the iceberg. We need to look further to see who else is using performance-enhancing drugs. If anything, it was more bury our heads in the sand, maybe it'll go away.
A columnist for the Boston Globe insisted, "There's nothing sold in drugstores that can help you hit a home run in the big league." And McGuire was just the victim of an unfair tabloid-driven controversy.
I don't think he was just taking Andro. I think Andro was one of many drugs that he was probably taking for a long period of time. And just a couple of weeks earlier, Randy Barnes, the gold medalist shot putter for the United States, was banned for life for using androstenedione. And here was McGuire being praised as the hero of the country, using the exact same thing. It wasn't something that was getting on McGuire, but it's just that it was seen outside of baseball as cheating and dangerous. And so why was baseball doing this?
That's the beginning of when you start thinking, what are we going to do about this? But you're sort of contradicting your own desire in a funny kind. I want to find out about this. I mean, I'm not here to tear sports down for fans. I'm here to make sports joyous for fans. And so you're living in that contradiction.
McGuire himself was unapologetic. "Everybody that I know in the game of baseball, I will stop." Sales of Andro exploded. Fans and other players seemed unconcerned. McGuire and Sosa continued hitting home runs at a record-breaking clip. The controversy faded away. By early September, Sosa had hit Vic's old record of 60. The Cubs arrived in St. Louis for a 2-game series, and despite the scandal in Washington, baseball was all anybody could talk about. Scalpers charged $400 for box seats,
to the games,
even more for the left field bleachers, where they expected each historic shot to land. There were rumors that a record-breaking ball might sell for as much as $1 million. Roger Maris was no longer living, but his tomb. A pack of reporters that had been trailing each slugger for weeks crowded into Busch Stadium, ready to provide moment-to-moment coverage. In the Dominican Republic, millions gathered around television sets and radios to follow Sosa's at-bats. The streets were as empty, one fan said, as when the government decrees a curfew. On September 7th, McGuire went right to work. The next night, McGuire came to the plate with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Which is the strongest one ever.
Roger Maris had needed all 162 games of the 1961 season to break Babe Ruth's record. It took McGuire only 145.
St. Louis is a tremendous baseball town. Where someone put it, you get this combination of passion and civility you don't find many other places. This is a place where they gave Sosa a standing ovation on the weekend when McGuire broke the record. McGuire and Sosa embrace. A kid, a groundskeeper, comes up with the ball. And in an era when everybody sells everything, the kid shows up on the field and his unscripted line, you. Roger Maris's family there. McGuire could not have been more gracious. Now, if some of that doesn't touch your heart, you shouldn't be a baseball fan. And because of all that, a lot of us said, something here, wait a minute.
There you go.
He hit 62 home runs and 440 at bats.
Thank you.
Ruth hit 60 and 5. It's a little fishy, but okay. Okay.
The race was not over yet. There was still nearly 3 weeks to go. Sammy Sosa passed Roger Maris on September 13th, and the two sluggers entered the final weekend of the season, tied at 65. On Friday night in St. Louis, McGuire hit a 375-foot shot. In Houston, Sosa blasted one that went 462 feet. On Saturday, McGuire slugged 2 more. Sosa singled twice, leading the Cubs to a win, but he failed to hit another home run. On the final day of the season, McGuire put the finishing in the 3rd inning. He hit his 69th home run. In the 7th, he came to the plate.
In his last 11 swings, he hits 5 home runs. But it's very hard to do. Everybody expects you to hit one, and yet he seemed to be doing it on cue.
Sosa finished the season with 66 home runs. He may have lost the contest with McGuire, but he had become a worldwide celebrity. And back home in the Dominican Republic, he was given McGuire and Sosa's accomplishments, wrote a reporter for the New York Times, were the equivalent of a large dose of Prozac, temporarily lifting the country from depressing developments in the capital. But one player remained decidedly unimpressed. As far as he was concerned, far too much attention had been lavished on 2 pumped-up sluggers with far less talent than he had. He had never aspired to break Roger Maris's record. Instead, he had dreamed of becoming the greatest all-around player and had set his sights on being the first to hit 400 home runs and steal 400 bases. On August 23rd, 1998, as the frenzy over the home run contest was nearing its climax, Barry Bonds had achieved that extraordinary feat. Frustrated that home runs were the only thing that mattered, he now resolved to do whatever it took to win the respect he thought he deserved.
The bottom line with Barry was he watched Sosa and he watched McGuire and he saw the edge of it. Now we really saw something remarkable.
Your early life and understanding where you're getting all this information and
You guys know?
into the realm of
Yoda. Okay. What if I did it there? You remember that, y'all?
There's a lot of, I think, inherent traits that in Hollywood they have been like, a lot of people have, I think, that a lot of actors or very popular people have
Hey, sex machine. Oh, what is this? Like, oh, I got it.
ideas of how to manipulate or how to. I don't know. I don't know. I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a great night.
There are a couple of times over the weekend in particular, very small in the fastball. I just think it's present right now.
John, we've been talking about this on the course of the day. Red Sox starting pitching.
The
Red Sox in first place. As many as about the turn of the two. 48, playing to come out whatever you
Thank you very much.
out over the green monster in left field.
I sometimes sit and stare out the window, thinking, what could I have done with my life had I not spent all this time on the Red Sox? Might I have completed this novel I've been working on for 25 years? Might I not have done something else? But what it becomes in the end is like raising your children. If you raise them well, and they love you, you love them back, at the end of the day, you know that when you leave this life, your children won't be thinking about, what a great column you wrote in October of 1972. They'll be thinking about the time they spent with you as a father. That's how I think about the Red Sox.
Yeah, hold on. My friend. Josh, watch this movie, dog.
This is NBC.
There's never been a time quite like this one. So many people making so much money. 1999 will go down as the year of the high-tech, high flyers, with stock prices going staying there. But will this continue in the 21st century?
As the last baseball season of the 20th century began, the country and its national pastime were thriving as never before. In the 5 years since the crippling strike of 1994, the game had bounced back spectacularly. Insiders and casual fans alike felt they were watching some of the greatest players and some of the greatest plays the sport had. Suspicions grew that many of the best players were using performance-enhancing drugs, that steroid-inflated home run records had replaced day-to-day hero habit.
What do you think was the problem with baseball?
When America seemed most threatened, baseball provided a welcome distraction and offered the hope, at least for a few hours.
Middle name is Arthur. He managed Dodgers.
At a time,
Miami Marlins.
Still managed to knock. And a skinny singles hitter from the other side of the world electrified fans.
It was 1985 AL MVP. He was a 9-time Gold Glove. He was third baseman, first baseman. With box at first base.
Baseball with its failures and disappointments, reminded the nation that loss is often the best teacher.
So did you see Tom Mattingly play?
Through it all, the game continued to astonish, to rise above its own scandals, and to reflect in good times and bad the complicated country that had created it.
In 1995.
I'll always love the game. And